So, should I do an introduction?
I was just, how do you start the podcast?
This is, I think, like our weakest point is starting a podcast.
Right? Yeah,
I think we should. I think it's okay to do an introduction and then just get into...
Yeah, no, I think so. Because if we just go in the middle of a conversation, it's like too disorienting.
Too much, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to have a little reboot.
Welcome to Gush. On this episode, we have Cybershell, Sonic YouTuber extraordinaire for many years. He dives deep into Sonic games, divulges all their secrets, shares them with the world in a way that only he can. Maybe the #1 Sonic nerd of all time. Cybershell, thank you for joining us.
Yes, it's an honor to be here. That's right. I'm the only Sonic YouTuber. That's correct. Everyone else, don't worry about it.
No one even compares.
Everyone else is a Cybershell fan YouTuber.
It's kind of weird.
Like, do your thing.
They're just
I don't think
fakers.
I'm definitely not like the first person to actually put out Sonic videos, but I had this weird thing where I just made a Sonic Let's Play like a very long time ago. So for like a long time, if you would search for that, like Let's Play Sonic, I was one of the top results or whatever. So I have this weird like seniority in the Sonic community, but like I wasn't actively posting for so long, and it's like just like like 9 years between that and when I came back. But yeah, it's kind of cool, honestly. I have a weird amount of clout in the Sonic community. That's not a lie.
I think you have like a lot, in my opinion at least, you got a lot of clout in the YouTube community in general because you're an OG YouTuber because you started uploading so early.
Right. I was sort of in the right place at the right time, sort of, because I never even considered like myself a YouTuber back then. I think I've gone over this before, but I was really just posting my videos on YouTube as like a backup because I didn't care about YouTube at all back then. I was making my videos specifically for the Something Awful Let's Play subforum, and we were all sharing our videos with each other over there. I was mostly posting my videos over on sites like Vidler and a site called like GameV and shit, but like those are like shit, they're like gone now. Like there are so many hosting sites, they're just gone, like tears in the rain, that just could not compete with YouTube. You know what I mean? So even back then, yeah, we were like, we got to put our videos up here too. It makes sense to have YouTube as a backup, and thank God we did, because a lot of videos that I remember watching are just like, they're gone. Same for image hosting. A lot of image hosting sites have gone down over the years.
Oh yeah, that's true. I used to use a site called Image Shack when I used to post on internet forums.
Oh my God, same.
I used Image Shack.
Website.
I think Image Shack, I don't even know if they're around. I think they're like still around in some capacity, but like at some point they deleted all of their like old pictures off of it. Because yes, I specifically remember on GameFAQs, that was like my go-to image hosting
that was
site.
Like the forum.
It used to be a pain in the ass to have, because before the idea of like embedding images was like, no, of course we're not going to do that. It would take forever to load every single page. So yeah, there were only a few of these image hosting sites. There was one specifically for Something Awful called Waffle Images, which was just run by some random goon or whatever, and now I don't know what happened to it because I was away from SA for a few years, but like it's gone. So like so many fucking iconic pictures and shit are gone. Again, I'm glad I had multiple places where I was hosting my images and my videos, so it's like my shit's not gone for the most part, but it happens, man. Like people think you put something on the internet, it's there forever. I mean, I feel like nowadays that's kind of true, especially with sites like Facebook and stuff, but like I don't know, man, it's easy to like have shit, you put it on the internet, like hundreds or thousands of people could have seen it, and now it's like gone forever.
I actually disagree with that. I think now it's more temporary than ever. At least that's like, I don't know how you feel about your YouTube channel, but
no, I hear where you're coming from, honestly. Like, like I don't trust any of these sites to not ban me. So yeah, the only way to like counter that is what I sort of was saying, is by diversifying. Like, don't host all your shit in one place. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? That's a good advice for any internet creator of any kind. You know what I mean?
That's
like I do think
harder to do now though than it was before. Because before there was like many alternatives, and now it's like everything's monopolized. So
big time.
To not put all your eggs in one basket literally means to like be on different mediums. Like
it's so much easier for me to say that, isn't it? Honestly, now that I think about it, like don't put all your eggs in the YouTube basket. Like, what does that mean? Like, what am I even saying right now? Like, you should upload your videos to fucking Dailymotion. So that's actually it. That is literally it. I was literally just thinking about this not that long ago. I'm starting to stream a little bit on Twitch. Not like, I don't want to be like a full-time streamer, but I would like to just have a Twitch that some people know about. Because I could get banned off of YouTube any day. It could happen. You never know.
If you're gonna get banned on YouTube, you're gonna get banned on Twitch.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Twitch is very weird. Yeah, you had a great video about that whole bullshit where we're gonna ban Simp, but it was clearly just like a minor distraction from their insane DMCA bullshit. Dude, I used to think I could trust like DMCA and these laws to not like okay, that sounded worse than it. I don't trust them to protect me, but like I trusted that like using DMCA was such a pain in the ass because they had to file a thing and then you could do the countersuit and there was all this bullshit going on. But now it's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if you're 100% in the right. These companies will just ground you into the fucking dirt. Like, they would show up to court and make you defend your correct thing, which would cost you so much more money. Like, it's just insane how it is nowadays.
It's going to be really awkward when you show up to court wearing a full Sonic fursuit, too.
That was it, dude. I remember fucking with DMCA stuff literally over 10 years ago. Someone was filing a bunch of false DMCAs against my friend's YouTube channel. It was actually Retrospective. It was Slow Beat and Diabetes had this thing. Yeah.
What year was this?
This had to be like 2009 or so.
Wow.
Because, they were... They kept getting hit from like first of all they had some community bullshit because they would do some videos making fun of people who like showed up in the videos, so that was kind of weird. So their first account like permanently got taken down, and then they were on their second account, which was Retrospective, and then that got taken down, and they made a third account, but it was just like archive stuff, and like we're not gonna do this shit anymore. But I was like, what the fuck? How are you down? And like, how did you get taken down? It's like, oh, we just got all these like DMCA complaints. And I was like, I was just reading about it because I didn't know anything about it. I was like, oh, it turns out if you like counterfile, like they have to show up in court if they want to like take it to the next step. So I was like, I just did the mental math. I was like, there's no way these fucking like Let's Play nerds are going to show up in court. So I just filed all the counter DMCAs for them and the channel got reinstated. So I thought that was pretty cool. That made me realize like, okay, there are some avenues you can take to like protect your shit, but I feel like they're getting more like choked out in like the more recent years. You know what I mean? Like it's getting harder and harder
in that situation because you were dealing with like it was like human to human, not like human versus corporation.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I was dealing with copyright strike claims from individuals. Exactly. I was not dealing with. It's all fucking robots now. It's the craziest shit. Like robots are the ones scanning your video, and when you have a problem with YouTube, you're talking to fucking robots. It's crazy. Yeah. And again, you have to cut them a little bit of slack because it's just like the amount of content on YouTube, the amount of complaints they must receive. They literally do not have enough human employees to deal with it all. But I feel like it's not just that you'd have to deal with robots. I feel like people, even nowadays, you call like a hotline or something, you're used to dealing with a couple layers of robots. But people are used to like being able, if you try hard enough, you can get in contact with a human. You just cannot do that with YouTube. Like if you're dealing with their automated email system, you have to harass.
I don't even know if Google is run by real people anymore. They might just be all robots.
It doesn't feel like it.
I have a friend who's like positive that he is able, because he's like really good at dealing with all these like hotlines and whatever. He's positive that he is able to get on the phone with someone who works for YouTube if he tries hard enough. And I think that like I told him like I should just record you doing that because that would be like 20 million view video. Right
I would
there.
be impressed.
I would be
impressed to actually talk to a human at YouTube, like, and have them give you remotely like useful information, or even just talk to you at all.
Have you guys ever met anyone in real life who works for YouTube? I don't think they exist.
No, I'm pretty sure
it's
at
like
this
Sonic
point,
Adventure
it's all
NPCs. It's like Sonic Adventure NPCs, you know?
Exactly. It's a completely AI run at this point. Susan Wojcicki or whatever, it doesn't even exist. Nobody's ever met her in person except
what,
H3,
advanced
H3
AI ever.
Exactly.
And nobody wants to give up the game. They don't exist either.
Yeah, they've just
they used to,
gone
but then they were
full digital,
murdered and replaced with AI.
That makes more sense to me than the other explanation. Yeah, I gotta say, YouTube is a strange place nowadays, and it feels weird to like. I mean, at this point, being a YouTuber who complains about YouTube isn't even like that's not even new anymore. I feel like everyone's complaining about YouTube. It's standard, but that's not good. That's not like that's like a like look
it just
at
shows
how,
that our complaints.
What does that
go
mean?
unheard.
Exactly. What does that mean for your site when everyone hates it and everyone is complaining about it and like I rarely
that kind of
ever
reminds
see anyone
me
defending it.
It kind of reminds me of the Sonic fan base. Or at least for a time. I don't have my finger on the pulse of how the fandom is now, but I remember distinctly what really got me into YouTube actually, like in terms of using it as a community tool and even making videos, was there's this huge controversy in 2000, I don't know, 7 or 8 or something around that time where the Sonic fandom, and I don't know how I got so involved in this, but the Sonic fandom on YouTube and other websites was furious at the replacement of
the voice actors.
Ryan Drummond.
Yes.
With Jason Griffith. And there were some people just absolutely spurging out about like, oh no, like there was this guy named Spax3 And he had like this infamous video where he's like, they could replace his voice with anyone as long as it's not Griffith, like yelling at the top of his lungs.
I do remember that. It's funny. I never was one of the people who cared that much, but I distinctly remember that was such like a huge fucking deal. It was like people were going. And there were so many videos like that. You're absolutely. There were so many videos just like that. So many little campaigns. People would like print out these little flyers like, "Don't let them do this. Don't let them 4Kids Sonic or whatever." It was like, holy shit.
But is that the same thing as what's going on with YouTube? Because that seems more like fans being entitled and stuff like that. Whereas I feel like people complaining on YouTube is more like YouTube just being bad.
Yeah, it is different. I'm trying to drift away from the subject, Slush.
Well, I had a question related to the subject. So,
okay, go for it.
I wanted to ask where you think YouTube's going in the future from where we are now.
That's a good question, actually.
I definitely see it getting more corporate, like you guys are sort of indicating. Like it's so weird. Like it's actually like almost creepy how like you see guys like Jimmy Kimmel. So I feel like people are aware that old TV is like dying. You know what I mean?
I agree.
They're trying to jump ship. They're trying to jump ship to YouTube, and it's not even like just Jimmy. Like even guys like or people like Brie Larson are starting YouTube channels, like regular ass celebrities. Oh, look at me! I've got my little YouTube channel. It's so weird to see that, but it makes perfect sense when you think about it.
Jack Black started a YouTube channel. I don't really watch it ever, but like it feels like a YouTube channel, so I have to give him.
Yes, I actually, for sure. I was actually talking about that with LS Mark. We were talking about celebrity YouTube channels. Yeah, you can do it right. I don't want to say like if you're famous, you're not allowed to have a YouTube channel. But yeah, Jack Black, he like makes videos with his son or something. Like he actually seems like he's like having a good time or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like I don't have anything against that. For sure. And if you can make fun content, cool. That's good. And there, it makes sense that they instantly get a lot of subscribers because they're celebrities. It's sort of weird because they're like starting on like a ground floor that's like so much higher up than the average YouTuber, but they still have to do a lot of the same bullshit. But they will get like favored by like, the algorithm and like, I feel like, people are more than happy to have like, that kind of stuff on trending. You know what I mean?
Do you miss the old, because you're from Something Awful. You mentioned Game Facts. Do you kind of miss that old style of like internet forums, of online communities?
Yeah. I really liked your video about, just like the golden age of the internet, because it does feel like it's just such a different like tone. It was a weird time, honestly, like pre 2007. I feel like that was like, it's not like a one cataclysmic event where it was like the internet was totally one way and then one day, the next day it was completely different. But like that year, like had a lot of stuff changed, and I specifically like the iPhone and stuff, like that was a big one, man. The fucking and MySpace was getting popular, and Facebook was coming out, and all this shit. It's like holy fucking It really was a weird time to be on the internet because like before that, like back in 2003 on GameFAQs, like you understood when you're talking to someone. Everyone was a huge fucking nerd, and everyone was like we all like had I don't know. It's not like it was better necessarily because it was so homogenized, but I definitely felt more like, that combined with the fact that there were so many different websites and there were so many smaller communities.
I think it was less homogenized. It was more like you just pick and choose. It felt like that old adage, surfing the web. It kind of did feel like that, where it's like every day is a little bit different on what I'm going to do on the internet.
It was a lot easier to find different and like varied communities for sure, and just like going on different forums, and like there were so many different forums had like weird little subcultures and weird little traditions and stuff that are just like got stamped out into the dirt. You know what I mean?
Why was Sonic so? Or maybe that was just the bubble I was in, but it felt like there was this coincidence of Sonic games being like this height of popularity, and then the internet really springing to life. And for some reason, like it was just so common to see Sonic. Like I remember these Sonic sprite sheets that people would post on these forums, and like I messed around with it, and it was like the most accessible media or something. I felt like.
For sure. God, I can't even tell you how many fucking Sprite comics I've seen over the years. I mean, not so much recently, but back in the day, it felt like it was everyone and their fucking dog wanted to make a Sprite comic because it was easy. I never like made a Sprite comic, like a full comic. I definitely fucked around making Sprite sheets, and I would like edit the sprites and be like, that looks cool, and then I would never do anything with it. But like, I would still have fun just fucking around with it and just seeing the kind of stuff people would make. Yeah, I feel like there was always a pretty big like gathering of Sonic fans online. It's just a very like sort of. It's a type of fandom that's like, that wants to conglomerate and talk about things. Like everybody likes Mario. Like even I like Mario. Who doesn't like Mario? But I mean, I don't feel like there's such a strong like Mario fan.
Mario wasn't
community.
As cool.
You know what I think it is?
Cool.
I feel like Sonic, especially like in the early 2000s, Sonic was much bigger of a presence than it is today, probably. But also that like Sonic was always like the underdog to Mario. And so like
True.
there was like more of a reason to want to like be a Sonic fan and like
more of a
that.
reason to like fly your flag and be like, look at it, let's all come like talk about how great Sonic is and all this shit.
Yeah.
Like I can definitely see that. And like you said, like it is weird. Like I feel like there's younger Sonic fans today who really like Sonic, and I'm very grateful for that. That like it's not just a like fan base of jaded 30-year-olds like me, but like I appreciate the younger Sonic fans. But like I don't think they can ever understand just how like big of a like cultural thing Sonic was in the 90s. He was huge, and then like you said, even going into the 2000s, like there was that residual. Before Sonic 06, people really did hold the series in pretty high regard. You know what I mean?
I think
That's
Sonic Heroes was
down.
like one of the first. Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog were like some of the first big, like what the fuck is going on here moments. Even though I really like Heroes.
I agree with you.
Heroes was good. I think it was just, it wasn't as good as Adventure 2, but I don't think it was. Most people.
I like Heroes. I think it's a good game. I'm not a big fan of like the multi.
I was seeing all the hate for Sonic 06. That was where it really crashed.
That was
That
the
was
absolute
the bottom.
Shadow.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Shadow was sort of a laughingstock.
That's when they jumped the shark.
But the thing was that Shadow was so easy to be like, well, it's not a mainline game. I mean,
spin-off.
it's Shadow.
Yeah.
It's a spin-off. It's this. It's that. Sonic 06 wasn't just like a mainline game. They used it's not even called Sonic 06. The name is Sonic the Hedgehog. They were so confident they wanted to give it like a reboot style title for some fucking reason, which was stupid in and of itself. But God, yeah. To me, it's not that Heroes and Shadow are bad specifically. It's just that everything to me personally had a weird sort of. It felt different after the Dreamcast. Like it was cool on one hand. I loved having like Sonic Advance. Like wow, it's Sonic on a Nintendo console. That's so incredible. It was so weird. Yeah. It was awesome, and it is awesome. I really do think it's cool. I'm glad that Adventure 2 battle is on GameCube, but like. It just felt different to me. It felt like a soft reboot. Like, you know what I mean? Like Heroes was like, they sort of cut out a lot of the guff from like Adventure, and they really streamlined it down so like anyone could jump in, and it's sort of, again, it feels really dumb to say this because it's a franchise for kids, but they sort of like made it even more for kids in like Heroes, you know what I mean? But then weirdly they sort of went too far the other direction in Shadows, where they tried to make it too hard for adults, but like the child version of what you think an adult is, where you say damn and then there's guns or whatever.
So it was pretty badass.
What is the perfect 3D Sonic game in your eyes then? Like, not of the ones that exist, but like the one that you would make if you had the ability to.
Right. I would love for them to take all the things that worked about the adventure games and then just cut out the parts that don't. You know what I mean? Like you can even do boost if you really wanted to have something like that in the game. I'm kind of over the style of boost gameplay. I don't hate it, but it's just like we've had it for so long and they've pretty much done all they can do with it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I would love to be proven wrong if they somehow could make some amazing new innovative game using boost. I mean, I would play it, but I mean, I'm just
I feel like it just visually looks cool, but it's not that
it looks cool. I feel like for
a
a couple games it was a fine style, especially since they really needed something different after 06.
What boost does best is it gives you that sense of speed, and like if you're able to like react and keep up the momentum with that boost speed, like it feels really, I don't know, exhilarating, I guess.
Okay, I want to say something. Hold on.
Generations with that gameplay.
Maybe this is controversial, and I want to see what you think, Cybershell. I always felt like, okay, growing up, like during this era of the internet, right? Everyone was always saying Sonic is about speed. Sonic is about speed, and it's like, and I kind of felt that way, right? Because that's like ingrained in his brand, his personality, whatever. But if you really go back and you play the original Sonic games, they're not like that much faster than Mario. They're just they're not like significantly about speed. That's just sort of what happens at some sections in the levels. Is that
so? It's interesting. Like they are about speed, but it's like people just can't fucking agree on what that means. Like the boost games are about speed because you can press the boost button and then instantly be going a million miles per hour. Whereas the Genesis games are more about like you can get speed and then the challenge is keeping that speed. You know what I mean? It's about maintaining the speed using momentum and like slopes and stuff. It's not necessarily about the stages are designed so you can go fast, but like it's not necessarily you will automatically go fast, especially your first time through the stage. You can play it a little more cautiously if you wanted. Whereas, like, it's funny because, like, yeah, if you play Mario perfectly, if you run the whole time, like, Mario goes pretty fast. Fucking, like, if you put him side by side with Sonic, like, Sonic.
Isn't that, like, wasn't Sonic partly inspired by speed running Mario.
Yeah,
something?
exactly. Yuji Naka, I believe, said infamously, like, because he liked to play the first Mario game, but you can like fuck around with warps to get to some of the later stages, but you always have to play 1-1. So he would just get and have like, how fast can I do 1-1? It was just like the joy of being able to like run the entire time and nail all your jumps. Like he's like, that's kind of a fun thing to get good at. So they wanted to design a gameplay that sort of captured that style of like mastering it. And I'm definitely have said on the record, you know, the first game, Sonic 1, was very Mario-y and had a lot of like waiting for platforms and it wasn't quite as refined. You can really, really, really feel this in 2. 3, they sort of toned it back a bit, and there's a little more climbing, a little more exploration, a little more, it's not quite as like streamlined, like, because in 2 you can basically be like running the entire time for sure. But yeah, that's what I liked about Mania, was that it was really like, you know, it reminded people that Sonic doesn't have to be going fast all the time. It just has that he can go fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's like what the boost games are missing. Is I feel like they don't really have good platforming.
Yeah, okay, so that's the thing. Yeah, when you're going fast in the boost games, everything's great, but during those brief moments where you have to like walk around, it feels terrible. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I can't even properly explain it. But
like
yeah,
not
to the platforming,
to move
yeah,
slow
exactly. The game is literally not designed for that kind of platforming, so it just doesn't feel right. The jumping, the air movement, none of it feels right. Whereas when you're boosting, everything feels fine. It's just shitty because when you make that kind of gameplay, like, think about how much level design you have to make and how fast you go like by it. You know what I mean? It takes so long to make a boost level and then you beat it so fast. Unless you really are one of the people, which I don't blame you for not, who's like going to be willing to play them multiple times just to really get into it. That's just not how people play games nowadays. It's not that people don't replay games, like it happens, but like, you know, back in the day, back in like when you got a Genesis game that is 1 hour long and you paid $60 for it, there's an implicit understanding that you're going to play it more than one time. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly.
Sonic levels, I think, are definitely difficult to design when you're trying to account for speed and like platforming, and it's a difficult task compared to
interesting.
Like Mario,
people, I mean, yeah, they like Mario Maker came out, and that's just a fun, like adorable, like really cool, awesome project, and I really like that game in theory. But then it's like, you know, 99.9% of levels are like unplayable dog shit. The ones that are good are great, but like it's hard to make a good Mario level, and guess what? Making a Sonic level is a lot harder than making a Mario level.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of hope that Sonic Maker is like the thing that could save the franchise. Although there are super talented Sonic fans out there who can make levels. It's just like even a lot of the good fan games, a lot of the levels still feel a little fan game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have like moments that just don't feel like they make sense. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it just feels a little amateurish. And again, it's not even like I play and I'm like, oh, I'm scoffing at how bad it is. It's just like, you know, like, oh, it's just like, you know, it's not the thing that has had multiple iterations of playtesting and professional designers go over, which again, I'm not expecting that out of a fan game, but it happens, you know what I mean? Whereas with like, I don't know, I feel like a good Mario Maker level, like the best ones are definitely, it might as well be official practically. I mean, some of them are a little too kaizo-y, you know, they try too hard to be hard.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, you can make a good, like, quote unquote, fair level.
Definitely, yeah.
I want to take a moment to do a little mini game here where we each give our best Sonic voice impression, just like one line. Could be any era of Sonic, any game. Doesn't even have to be exactly what he said. I want to see which one of us has the most accurate Sonic voice, which I feel like is an iconic part of his character.
I feel like you're right. It is an important part of his character, like his attitude, his voice. Yeah. Interesting. I'm not good at this, but I'll think of something.
Sam?
Okay. This is Genesis era Sonic. Opa. That's Sonic getting an air bubble.
Yeah, I got that. I was laughing at that. I was like classic Genesis era.
Okay. Let me do a real one now.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck does he even say? I'm trying to think of something from Sonic Adventure 2. Okay. He's like, that's not, he's a faker.
What's that line in reference to?
To Shadow, he calls Shadow a faker.
Oh, right.
Come on, Tails, let's catch this faker.
Classic, just classic.
Yeah.
I love Sonic Adventure 2, honestly.
Yeah.
It is a great game.
Cybershell, we're waiting on you.
What you see is what you get. I'm just a guy who loves adventure. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, nice. I like that. That was good.
What was that one from?
That's also from SA2.
Oh, okay. I clearly haven't played SA2 in a long ass time.
Right, I literally just played it.
Every time I want to play it, I get to a Tails or a Robotnik level, and I'm just like,
I hear you,
Wow.
man.
See, okay, maybe I'm in the minority, and maybe I would think differently if I played it now, but I remember as a kid, I liked those levels. They were slow, but, like, it was kind of fun. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I just had a whole rant, like, defending them. Like if you don't like them, I'm not going to be like, how dare you not like these stages, which clearly aren't, like, what the traditional person thinks of when they think of a Sonic level. But, like, yeah, it's kind of weird. I like the Gamma stages in SA1, and the mech stages are kind of like a refined version of that. So I don't understand why everyone like loves Gamma but hates the mech stages. But the mechs are a lot slower and clunkier and like heavier. You know what I mean? So it's like
and longer. The stages are longer.
And that too. Some of the stages can be a little overly long. The weird thing is, I feel like a lot of the Eggman stages in SA2 are actually pretty good, but like a lot of the Tails levels kind of suck. It's weird.
What about
Eggman
the
has some
treasure
better
hunting?
designed. That's another one where I personally kind of like them. Although even me, I'll occasionally get like an emerald shard where it's just in a weird location. I can't find them. It's like, what the fuck is this bullshit? This sucks. But like, I do in theory like I don't think the idea of like searching for things is such a bad idea for like I don't mind the alternate play styles in theory. It's just I get why some people do. Some people just wanted it to be like Sonic the whole time. You know what I mean?
Well, so then. For that from that question earlier when I asked like what's your perfect 3D Sonic game, would you or wouldn't you be cutting these elements from Sonic Adventure 2?
I think if my ideal Sonic game would be more like Sonic Adventure 1 in the sense that Sonic had way more stages than any of the other characters. It needs to be at least half, if not more, Sonic style gameplay. And then I think ideally you could either have other characters as either optional play styles or maybe like, again, how it did in SA1 where it was like you could do all the Sonic stages and then if you wanted to, you can tackle the other ones. The reason people hated Big so much in SA1 wasn't because that he was in the game. It's because that you had to play him to beat the game. You know what I mean? That's like...
Yeah.
People don't hate alternate playstyles just because they exist. They hate the game for like making you do them. And that's what I was sort of saying about SA2 was that it'll give you like the beginning of SA2 is great. You get a Sonic level, then a quick Knuckles level and a quick Tails level, and then 2 more Sonic levels in a row. Everyone's like, yeah, this is great. But then it hits you with this part right in the middle where you have to do Mission Street, and then you have to do a Knuckles level. You have to do 2 Tails levels and 2 Knuckles levels before you get back to Sonic. And that like I feel like kills a lot of people's
Isn't there a
motivation.
Rouge racing level somewhere in between
That's
there?
the Mission Street, I think.
No, that's Route 101. But yes, Tails and Rouge both have this weird mini game where you have to drive a car. It's like kart racing. It's so totally pointless and superfluous
weird.
that I always forget that it exists until I'm sitting there playing it. I'm like, oh yeah, this part. It's so short. It's one stage. If it was more than one stage, I feel like
I think you're
a lot
like
of people be
chasing
hating
the
it.
president or something.
Yes,
in
as
that
Tails,
level.
you're chasing the president, and as Rouge, you're chasing Tails, which is kind of funny.
The plot of that game, I mean, I'm sure it's kind of like cringy and whatever, dated or whatever, but I remember just certain things about it. It was probably the most serious Sonic game, certainly by that point.
Dude, I still unironically will go up to bat. I think that has a great plot. Like, it's not like Shakespeare. It's not like the greatest, like, compared to the greatest movie ever written. It's not like that level of a solid
I disagree.
plot.
It's
But there's
exactly
some
like that.
amazing set pieces. There's some amazing scenes. There's a lot of really memorable moments. It feels like a fun, coherent adventure where they're continually moving forward. Like, okay, all this shit's happening where Sonic has to bust out of the prison island.
The space
and they have to
arc
go
was
to the-
so cool. The ending fight with what was it? The ultimate life form, and then like that
It was
music
a cool
and
story. Actually.
Yeah, that's it. I feel like okay, so
Amazing.
I feel it has a good progression throughout it, and then I feel it has a very good climax. I feel like a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't feel they feel like it goes too hard on the weird shit with Gerald Robotnik and like the firing
I
squad.
like that.
It does get a little. I liked it too. That never bothered me, but I understand that there's some people have issue with it. But I feel like the finale is so good, dude. The Bio Lizard fight when you're out in space with Live and Learn playing, dude. That is such a good finale.
Really badass.
It's really good. I feel like you have to be really jaded to be like, this is totally lame. Like, you don't have to think it's the coolest thing in the world, especially as an adult. But I think it's cool. I always see it as through the eyes
Honestly,
of a kid
like,
still.
especially compared to Sonic Adventure 1, I feel like the story's so much... Like, the Sonic Adventure 1 story like, never got me hooked at all. I like, really didn't care
Here's the
about
thing about
echidna
SA1.
stuff and...
Yeah, okay, so I have this weird thing where I just, like, love Rashomon-style stories where you can see, like, multiple perspectives going at once. So the idea of seeing, like, the same sort of thing sort of events. You could see it from like multiple, like 6 different perspectives.
That is
in
interesting.
theory, I like that. It's only as I've gotten older and replayed it, I'm like, oh, they actually don't really do that much with this. Like, they could have done a lot of cool, interesting things, but it's mostly just used to force feed you the exact same fucking cutscene again, the exact same boss fight. It's not as well done. Whereas I feel like in 2, you basically got that with the Hero and Dark story. They basically got. So I feel like I got what I needed from that. So yeah, I definitely strongly prefer everything about the story and just the presentation of that and the way it's done in 2. Although there's a lot of things about 1 I like, and there's a lot of things about 2 I like. But
how do you guys feel about? Well, there's two examples of this. When Shadow and Maria's relationship, first of all, but also in Sonic 06, you kind of had something similar with Sonic and what was her name, like the princess or whatever,
Princess Elise.
Right. I feel like that might have started furries.
Well, I mean, I
Furries
think
already
Sonic
were
has been
there.
generating furries in the fandom for way longer than that, all the way back to like Sally Acorn on Satam. You know what I mean? I feel like people like Sonic. I mean, furries existed before Sonic, but
Yeah, that's
I definitely
true.
feel like it probably.
Is there proof of that?
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like furry art dating back to like the 1970s.
They probably started from Space Jam, realistically.
I'm pretty sure there's a down the rabbit hole about furries that's like detailing the origins, because that is actually weird to think. But yes, literally furry.
Literally
like,
down
had to
the
start
rabbit hole.
somewhere.
Literally.
That's good.
Sonic
That's
was
good.
like
I
the
didn't realize
greatest
that.
thing to happen to
But,
the furry community.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, like, I'm
Sliced
at no point denying that Sonic was no doubt like a gateway drug into furryism for like a lot of people for
yeah.
sure. Like, it definitely turned a lot of people to the dark side, as it were. But I don't think Maria and Shadow, it was that bad. I mean, I think they were just like friends or whatever. They don't kiss on screen or anything if it was like that. So at the very least, she's the common sense to die in the past 50
Wait,
years
does
ago.
Elise kiss Sonic?
Yeah,
think
that's
that
like
one
the
got more
most
serious.
infamous part of Sonic 06.
I've like never played Sonic 06.
The finale of Sonic 06, Sonic dies. Sonic literally dies, and then Elise kisses him and brings him back to life. It's like the shittiest
Whoa.
Disney movie moment of all time. It sucks. I mean, I'm not. I wish I could take on like I should have just done this as a bit years ago and like stuck to it, right? Like defended Sonic 06 and pretended that there's nothing wrong with it. That'd be a hilarious bit, but it's there's so much wrong with it. It'd be really hard to maintain. It's funny, people like I will say like whenever I see non-Sonic fans, like anytime someone like brings up Sonic, oh, remember Sonic 06? Like, dude, that was like fucking 15 years ago. Like, that was like half the entire lifespan of the series, the franchise ago. And people are still bringing that up like it's the most relevant. It's not relevant, but it is legendarily bad, and it does deserve to be mocked. So I'm not at all saying you can't make fun of that. Oh, you can make fun of that. Believe me, I have.
But it was just the peak of the Sonic Dark Age, and I feel like that Dark Age left a stain on the reputation of the character.
Yeah, 06, I feel like 06 is a good contender for like nothing has ever tarnished any franchise's reputation as much as that one game did for like, cuz like it was just such a confluence of events. Like, it's so bad on every level. Like, technically it's bad. The loading screens are bad.
Yeah, wasn't that the
glitches
main
are bad.
issue?
The core gameplay is bad because it wasn't refined enough. Maybe it had more time, it could have been okay,
It was
but
so
it wasn't.
glitchy,
They
yeah.
rushed it out. They had it's like a written fact. They rushed it out so it would be out for holiday season because they just
It's
wanted
like
to
the
make a quick buck.
cyberpunk of Sonic games.
Literally is. It was rushed and it was just half baked, and they were just like, we have to put it out to make money. Not that like, again, I specifically saying it has structural elements. Like, the story is bad. The weird thing is like, it has a weird shitty time travel thing that's just so convoluted and pointless. Like, that's all bad. The whole Sonic story is bad. The kissing is bad. Weirdly, the Shadow story, it's not that bad. It's honestly like whatever. He just like does his own thing. Apart from tying into the time travel shit. Like, people expect Shadow to be like the cringiest character. He was probably like the least cringe part of 06. He doesn't really do anything that
He
bad.
had his cringe with Shadow the Hedgehog, so he got it out of the way.
Exactly,
Yeah.
very much so. In fact, that's one of the worst parts about Shadow is that in Sonic SA2, I have no problem at all with Shadow. He's a completely good character. He has a complete character arc, and by the end, he's like chill and a good guy. Then he dies, and it's like, okay, what a good character. But then, like, you know, he was too good of a character. They had to bring him back so he could sell toys and stuff. So they brought him back in Heroes, and unfortunately they had to give him amnesia so they could just like reset his character. And ever since then, he's kind of sucked ass. He just
wasn't it like there's like a million Shadow the Hedgehogs or something?
Okay, so Heroes does this annoying thing where they bring back Shadow, but they don't explain why he's back, so they just leave in some weird hooks for the Shadow the Hedgehog sequel. Like, they show us a scene where there's like a bunch of shadows in vats. It turns out they're all
that
Shadow
was sick.
androids or some bullshit like that. It turns out, yeah, he is the actual real Shadow. They mentioned that in Shadow the Hedgehog, but I didn't like that they brought him back. Here's the thing, I like Shadow. Now I'm kind of glad that he's still around, but like at the time I was like, ugh, why did they bring him back? It doesn't make any sense, and they ruined his character because they just made him the most generic edgelord ever,
know,
so he could, be
Speaking
Shadow.
Yeah.
on Sonic Heroes, I always thought that because it kind of, I was like, I was one of these Sonic fans that kind of got introduced by Adventure 2 on the GameCube and all that.
For sure.
But I remember Sonic Heroes, and I remember thinking like, this is cool. I like the cutscenes at the time were kind of cool looking. They were very glossy and like
they had the CGI ones. The ones they animated by Blur.
Has good CGI, I feel like.
But the robot Sonic as a villain, I just felt like it wasn't as interesting or maybe underutilized compared to...
Here's the thing, I love Metal Sonic, but I just hate the way they used him in Heroes. It's so weird. You don't even get a good fight against Neo Metal in his cool design. He turns into that giant fucking like T-Rex thing or whatever. It's like Metal Madness. Yeah. It just wasn't as good of a finale. It's not the worst finale or anything, but like Sonic goes super, but for whatever dumb mandated reason, like Tails and Knuckles aren't allowed to go super. They only had those weird yellow orbs around them. I never liked that. That always rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah, the finale of Heroes didn't really do it for me. I don't know. In theory, it's so weird. On paper, I feel like I should love Neo Metal or whatever, but they just didn't do it quite right.
You know what Heroes had though? It had, in my opinion, pretty awesome level design.
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. Even when I was a Heroes like hater, I'm not like a full-on hater. I've come around on it a lot in recent years, talking to people who've liked it. But one thing I've always never been able to deny is it has some amazing looking levels, aesthetically just amazing. They totally fit in with the universe. I just love the stages.
The casino levels were nice.
Some of them gameplay wise were a little annoying, especially this bingo whatever highway bullshit. But yeah, God, I loved the aesthetic of it though. I love casino levels in Sonic. So yeah, I really dug. I dug those, especially for the casino ones. In fact, that casino level got turned into an amazing racetrack in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed.
Forget what it's called. It was like a rainforest level with a bunch of frogs or something. That was like the point in the game where I was like, oh, I actually kind of really like this now.
Yeah, that's a good fucking level. I like that and the weird giant frogs. Again, there's some weird set pieces, but actually, yeah, I really like the stages in Heroes. My only major complaint with Heroes is they make you play through the game 4 times with 4 teams. Why couldn't they just change up the level order a little bit? That could have gone a long way, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, you have to play them the same stages in the same order 4 times. Yeah, I mean, you do different things. They're slightly longer for Team Dark. They're slightly shorter for Team Rose. And then Chaotix has their weird little objectives, but I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if this is the time for this or not, but I'm just going to make the time.
Find the computer room.
We prepared a few Sonic trivia questions for you to test your knowledge. I did my best to make them as challenging as I could. I think I threw in like 1 or 2 easy ones, but I don't know. Just imagine that this is... Yeah, this is where
actually. I don't know anything
this is
about
where
Sonic.
the editing comes in, and there's music.
Yeah, imagine like Grunty's Furnace Fun music is playing. This is very Banjo-Kazooie game show. Okay?
Oh, this is awesome. Yeah. This is exciting.
Okay, now okay. The first
Can't
question.
see the subtitles.
We're leaving it.
First question. Okay. What game did Sonic first appear in?
Okay, so do you mean like this is like I'm gonna be technical
you have
about
30
this.
seconds.
Do you mean okay, well
I'm just kidding.
Technically he first okay. I feel bad because I don't know the name. He appears as a little racing dongle doohickey in a game that came out before Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Like he technically, if you count that as an appearance.
That is the game I am referring to.
Okay.
What game is
well, I half got it right because I can't fucking remember what that game's called.
Okay, it's called Radmobile.
Radmobile, that's right, yes.
I'll give you a 0.5 out of 1 for that.
Okay.
Okay.
I knew it had to be a trick question because it was like, why would you give me that if the answer was Sonic 1? That doesn't make any sense. So you had to be referring to the fucking little ornament Sonic. Again, I feel like if I wanted to be a dick, I could be like, that's not really Sonic. That's just a Sonic doohickey.
It's an appearance. I don't know.
It counts. Yeah, you're right. It does count as an appearance, as a cameo for sure. It's on the wiki page, I believe.
So this will show up on the screen, but what game is this, and where is it? I'm just gonna send a picture.
This is literally a fucking Banjo-Kazooie question.
Yeah, see this picture on my screen. Do you know where you have been?
Damn. That is one blurry ass fucking texture. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna be able to guess that one. That kind of looks like.
I'll give you a
adventure
zoomed out version of it slightly.
Oh, that looks more familiar, but I'm still. I see the Eggman face. It almost looks like it's on fucking Skydeck, but I don't remember any blue water or whatever that is. It's freaking me out.
Pretty close. Pretty close. It's. Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to one more guess?
You can just tell me. It's all good.
So this is just on the egg carrier.
So, okay, that makes more sense. I was like, because there's no water in Skydeck. What the fuck?
And it's just like a weird, like boundary break camera angle.
Right. Okay. Now that you say that, yeah, I feel like I get it more now. Okay. Yes, for sure.
See,
I knew it had to be some egg-related thing
good.
based on the based on the red and the just the weird like low, like I don't even know what you'd call that. It's like some sort of metallic like just junk texture, but like that's very Eggman-y.
Computer chip type.
Okay,
thing.
I also have a trivia question. Does this work into your? I have at least one that I'm gonna throw in here.
Go for it.
Okay, so I'm uploading this image right now. Why did Dr. Eggman throw away this robot?
Emerald as the Gizoid or whatever.
Yes.
Well, I mean, are you asking for the reason that they stayed in game? Which I'm probably not gonna be able to give, unfortunately, because it's been a hot eon since I've played Battle. But like, if you remember, at the fucking end of the game, he has a complete shit fit. He has like complete meltdown. Fucking Emerald has to be destroyed. He has to be put down like Old Yeller, and it's like the saddest scene in any video game I've ever played.
But why? Okay, well, there you go. You're close.
He's a shitty little alien monster.
I don't know if I can accept that answer.
Can we give that a 0.5 or is that a 0?
Okay, well, here's the reason, and then you can help me determine. The reason that Dr. Eggman threw him out is because he was a self-aware robot who wasn't listening to Dr. Eggman's commands, and then Sonic and his friends basically befriended him and then taught him how to fight and everything.
Right. Yeah, and then they reused his. Well, they do sort of reuse. They bring it back in the form of Gemerald, which is a different robot. But like, you know, I thought it was kind of cool that they make Battle canon in Advance 3 by having like another Gizoid type design. But
yeah, that was sick.
Emerald is a very interesting and cool character. I love Battle, but like the actual act of sitting down and playing Battle involves a lot of filler, a lot of padding.
Really? It's been a long time since I played it. I have good memories of it, but like...
Yeah. Okay, so the core gameplay is like good. It's a cool, good game. Like I love the idea of like a weird like... No, it's not isometric, but it's like a Sonic fighter that you can walk around in an arena. It's really cool. It's just like the story involves a lot of, you have to fight someone and then they have like 10 stock, and then as soon as you're done fighting them, like, okay, that was just the warm up, now do it again, and you have to, it's like, there's a lot of that bullshit.
It's kind of repetitive, yeah.
Yeah, again, it's one of those annoying things where it's like, I want to say it's a great game, but just because of annoying things like that, it's hard to like flat out recommend. But I do love Battle. Like I love, like I want to play, I should like look into like getting it, like finding like a ROM hack or something, see if there's anything that can just, I guess I could just use like speed up to skip some of that bullshit.
I forgot about Gemerald, but you're right. Sonic, at the end of Sonic Advance 3, he shows up, and that game, I thought that was definitely the height of mobile Sonic games, or like
Advance
whatever,
3
like
had some
Sonic.
very interesting things with like the team mechanic. I loved that, honestly.
Yes.
I thought that was a really great gimmick.
Yeah.
I really did. I was a little hard on the Advance games in the past because I used to just harshly, because I really love, the first one was the only one I had for a very long time, and I really liked it, but I always just unfairly compare it to like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so I was like, it's not quite as good as the Genesis game. But like for what it is, like on a handheld, it has way less screen real estate to work with, a lot less pixels, but they still managed to make a beautiful sprite. I love the aesthetics of those games, absolutely gorgeous artwork, and yeah, they actually managed to like make a pretty good like version of a classic Sonic type game with Advance 1. And then Advance 2, they sort of went in a different direction. They had this more like speed, linear, and then they had the boost system, which wasn't how it is in the 3D games exactly. You have to be running, and when you get max speed, you get boost. I wasn't quite as big of a fan of 2, but I had some people like who told me that was like their Sonic game growing up, and they really loved 2. And like looking at it like that and like going back to it, now that I can appreciate it for what it is and not just get stupidly mad at it for not being a Genesis game, I really do see what it does right. It does have some weird like level design things, a lot of bottomless pits.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I remember
it really relies on
a
lot of annoying pits. Yes, there's definitely. I'm not saying it's a perfect game by any means. It's just I used to really be hard on it. Now I sort of see the appeal. But then for 3, they did a lot of things I liked from 2, but then they reined it back a bit. It's not quite as like crazy with the bottomless pits, and I really like the team mechanic. Again, it's not my favorite game of all time.
I think there was even a Chao Garden, but I couldn't figure out exactly how to use it in
Yeah,
Advance 3.
I was never really I never really fucked around with the handheld Chao Gardens. They always just felt like, you know,
I thought it was a good idea though. Like that'd be sick.
It's not a bad idea at all for sure. But I was like, you know, if I wanted to fuck around with a Chao Garden, just load up Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. But I feel like nowadays, especially, it's wild they haven't brought back the Chao Garden for some sort of like app or something. You know what I mean? It's like, Chao
That's the
Gardens
next
like
Pokemon
free
Go.
money, guys. People love the Chaos, and it's so funny
Yeah,
they're
that
like
should be
teasing.
an app. Wow.
They go out of their way to like tease people with Chao. Chao are in the comics. They're in the games now. You can race as a Chao in Team Sonic Racing, and they're like in the background.
I think
of
they're
lot
making
of
a
different
comeback.
games.
People like
I feel like
Chaos.
it's like they know that, and they've been doing this for so long. I feel like dude, if they made a new Sonic game, like it doesn't even have to be good. If they just announced it as a Chao Garden, people would probably be a lot more forgiving of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
People would probably
Should
like
they
that
have
shitty.
spelt it differently though? I always thought it was so
it's a-
confusing.
I've heard that from a lot of people. Like I'm used to it, so I don't care.
I never
but
felt
yes,
that
I
way.
definitely get that. Having Chaos and Chao in the same game was definitely confusing to people.
yeah.
I get that. People who call
Especially
them
the
that-
plural
yeah,
of
that
Chaos
is
is just
stupid, yeah.
spelt chaos.
Yeah. I definitely hear you. I feel that.
When Sonic Advance 1 came out, like I feel like it was already at that point in time where people were so hungry, or at least I was so hungry for a classic Sonic game again, that I was like, holy
Exactly.
shit, this is the kind of like the Genesis games. This is the greatest thing ever. And it
Exactly.
was like it was like the game to do that for me until Mania, basically.
Yeah, I really do like Advance 1, and I feel bad. I think I'm like pretty harsh on them just because again comparing them to like the peaks of like Mania and Sonic 3 Knuckles is a little hard. But like, yeah, Advance 1 did a great job, and iterating on the Sonic formula. It added a new playable character with Amy, who had a just interesting thing where she couldn't do all the same moves as everyone else, which I thought was cool. She's almost like a harder mode in a way, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, and it did a lot of right aesthetically. It even had a little cute little like boss rush thing at the end where you get to fight
Yep.
like a
The
guy
classic
from
bosses.
1 and 2. I thought that was really cute. Like I love little touches like that. That really meant a
Yeah.
lot to me, honestly. And yeah, for a long time, yeah, fans were crazy desperate for 2D. Anything 2D. We had nothing for so long, and that's why we were so eager to eat up that dog shit that was Sonic 4. And we're like, oh, this is terrible.
Ugh,
but like,
so
people wanted
bad.
it. People wanted that kind of shit. But unfortunately, Sonic 4
Even the
didn't pan
music
out.
in
But we
that
did at least
sucks.
have the advanced games. Those were a good dose of 2D when we needed it.
And the first Rush game, like for similar reasons, I liked a lot.
I love
Yeah,
Sonic.
you know, it's so
Food.
funny. It's funny. I really am like, it's funny. When I'm playing like Colors and it's a 2D section and I'm like boosting, I'm like, I don't really dig this so much. But when I'm on Rush, it's like everything's a handle. It's a design. The whole game is 2D boost gameplay. It has a lot aesthetically going on that
It
I
flows
absolutely
well.
adore. I like the 2-screen gimmick, actually. Surprisingly, I thought it would be annoying, but it's actually kind of cool. Great soundtrack. They got fucking Hideki
Oh,
from
yeah.
Jet Set Radio.
Yes.
Like, what the hell?
It's
He
so
didn't have any...
Yeah.
Obviously, all Sonic soundtracks, more or less. There's a couple exceptions, I know. But most Sonic soundtracks are absolutely banging. But that one in particular is incredible.
Love
It brought like Blaze, who's actually a fun, cool character and not like annoying. And she can like play pretty much as good as Sonic and stuff. Yeah, Rush is great. I really do like Rush, honestly. It's not like... Again, I always have to just clarify this. Like, I mean, Mania is my ideal like 2D basically, but like, I like that it's different. The fact I used to not like things because they were different from what I wanted them to be, but now I can just appreciate it for what it is.
Okay.
Anyways,
next
back to the
question.
trivia.
Yeah.
Oh right, yes,
Okay,
we're
this
doing.
this one will be
trivia.
a little bit easier for you. And I'm giving you a bonus point here if you can answer this. So, the original question is, name the islands that each of the original 3 Sonic games take place on, and for the bonus point, name the island Knuckles Chaotix takes place on.
Oh fuck. Okay, so it's South Island, West Side Island, and Angel Island are the main
Yep.
3. Fuck. God, I'm gonna have to take the L on that Chaotix one because I know it's a different fucking thing. It's like some crazy carnival bullshit. It's actually weird. I feel like I'm the one who especially should know this because I spent a long time being like, what the fuck is going on? Because like the English manual and the Japanese manual had like weird differences in Chaotix, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And it's so weird that all these older games used to be like, you know, like the only like story, like there's no in-game text or dialogue explaining. You had to
Yeah.
read the fucking manual if you wanted to know what was going on, which
It was
is just
manual
crazy to
and
think about.
in like in-game transitions.
Right. Oh yeah, it might even be on the because yeah, Knuckles Chaotix had some insane like transition screens, and like the act screens had like all this weird text and like a barcode on it.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, I really like fucking Knuckles Chaotix. I want to love Knuckles Chaotix, man. I just the gameplay is
gameplay
fundamentally flawed, I believe is the term I used.
The island is called. There's two
Nootropic
names.
High or something.
It's
That's
like
what the...
Nootrogic High Zone.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, see, I
Wait,
remembered it
what
right
game
at
is
the
this
end.
all from?
It has some weird
Knuckles
fucking name
Chaotix.
like that.
It was a 32X game, I think.
That's
no?
correct. The Genesis add-on that nobody fucking bought.
Okay.
Yeah.
32X.
It also
I'm
has
pretty sure
an
most people
alternate
only
name.
know about that from the Angry Video Game Nerd episode.
Yeah,
Right.
that's when I found out about pretty much all the weird ass add-ons. Of
I
the
actually
Genesis.
had a fucking 32X, believe it or not. I had a fucking 32X, and I had 2 games.
Where
I had
did you find
Chaotix.
a 32X? I've never
My
seen
dad
it
got
in
it
store
at
in
a
my
yard
life.
sale, a literal actual yard sale for like $20. It was like straight
Wow.
up, they didn't want it anymore. And yeah, I had that, and I had one game called Tempo, which was actually a really cool game. I had 2 games, and I expect the Sonic one to be the one I liked, and I was like, this one's okay. I mostly just booted it up to like run around and like, this game looks cool as hell. And then I wouldn't really like beat it. I'd play a couple levels and be like, okay, whatever, I'm done now. Or I'd use the cheats just to go right to the end.
It was kind of a boring game, unfortunately.
It's so sad. Knuckles never got another chance to shine and stretch his little red legs and be like a star. You know what I mean? In fact, he barely gets any playable appearances anymore at all. But like even back then, it was weird, man. They really wanted Knuckles. He was like the Shadow the Hedgehog of the era. You know what I mean? Like he was Sonic's rival. Now he's just Sonic's friend, I guess.
I feel like there's been a whole thing where at some point everyone just got really annoyed with all the side characters, so like Sega has pulled back on it super hard.
They pulled back on it too hard though. It's I get that. Like I get people in 06 in particular was because you had the 3 playable characters, but then in the campaigns they had moments that would force you to play as other characters, and then those characters were even less like well designed of a game style than like the main characters. So it was like even more of a nightmare than regular Sonic 06. So yeah, I can definitely understand people play Sonic 06 like I fucking hate Sonic's friends. But I feel like when people say they're like hate Sonic's friends, they're not talking about Tails and Knuckles, are they? They're talking about everyone else, right? That's what I thought. But yeah, even then they got Tails and Knuckles more or less got sidelined for quite a while. Which again, I don't even have anything against the idea of just a Sonic game with Sonic as the only playable character. If you want to do that, then fine, great, whatever. But like, I don't know. I just feel a little bad for guys like Tails and Knuckles getting sidelined so hard.
They should definitely do more with them, but I mean, Sega, I feel like there's just no point in saying Sega should do blank with Sonic.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't get too emotionally invested in like, is the next Sonic game gonna
Fan
be good?
games
Like,
should do
I hope
blank.
so.
Is the new
Exactly,
fan
right?
games.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're totally living in the age of fans taking over. I don't know if you saw this, but like I constantly used to bitch about I want the mobile ports of Sonic 1 and 2 on PC, because on the mobile ports are widescreen and have all these crazy enhancements that are like that make it the definitive way to play. But Sega just refuses to put them on PC for some reason. I was begging for so long, and finally, after all these years, a fan just said fuck it, and they put out decompilation, so you can just if you have the game files, you can play them on PC now natively, which is just awesome. I love seeing fans decompile shit and get it running natively on PC like they did with Super Mario 64. I thought that was the coolest shit.
That was crazy. Got taken out super fast. Sega not really
just
doing anything about the Sonic ones because they're cool.
Yeah. Again, I really do appreciate that Sega isn't as insane as Nintendo is, and like Nintendo, like fuck, about it. You fucking made a video. Like they're like actively malicious to these fucking like fans half the time. It's crazy.
They'll show up at your door, give you a cease and desist.
Dude, did you guys see that?
They were
that,
like stalking some
document?
guy. Yeah, they're like stalking like his like daily like routine, so they could like it wasn't even that bad. They didn't want to like arrest him. They were like trying to recruit him or something, but it was still like Nintendo spies were keeping track of this mother. Like someone worked at Nintendo. Their job was to like stalk this guy.
That would be a cool job though, not gonna lie. You're like a
Nintendo
you're an
ninja.
independent, you're a private eye for Nintendo. Come
That
on,
would be
that's
cool. Actually, that would be cool. The Nintendo detective.
It's like more like Nintendo is turning into big tech or something. Like it's weird.
Right.
When I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit, this is so fucked up."
It's like
they have,
Disney.
chat logs and everything.
It is fucked up. Dude,
It's
did
like
you ever
what's
hear that
happening with
story of
Disney.
the guy who hacked Valve and stole an early copy of Half-Life 2, and then
then
they
he got
baited him.
hired?
They were like, "We want to give you a job. Come
Yeah.
to America." And they baited him out, and then they fucking arrested
Oh,
him as soon as
yeah.
he
Oh,
landed.
my
It was a
God.
sting operation. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
a
hearing
flat
about
out
that.
sting, and yeah, I
Are
don't
they
even know
allowed to do that?
Yes.
I mean, I think so. I mean, yeah, he was
They
like
were
a
working
foreigner or
with,
something, so-
something.
yeah,
They were
straight
working
up,
with the
like,
government to catch this guy, I think, actually. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a planned sting
They
operation.
were working with law enforcement. I don't know.
Wow.
I really can't remember the exact details, but yeah, like like these big video companies, they seem like, oh, we just want to give you a job. I wouldn't have trusted Nintendo if they offered me a job as same. I would have been like, you're trying to
Yeah,
arrest me, like for real.
That's is that not like entrapment or something?
I don't know. There was some technicality or something. I'm gonna have to look this up because it's actually an interesting story. But like, yeah, like he didn't like go to like I think he just got like a fine or something. He didn't get like that harsh of a punishment. He's not in jail now. Or
He's
anything,
actually in
but-
jail right next to Martin Shkreli.
Yeah, the highest of all criminals.
Are we still in the trivia game?
Yeah. Sorry, of course. Which
Oh yeah.
Which two characters made their first appearance in Sonic the Fighters?
First appearance. Well, are we counting? I would say technically there's 3 if you really want to get into it, because there's Honey if she counts. But mainly Bark and Bean are the 2 that really.
Yeah, those are the ones that I was
know.
looking for. I did not.
Those are the ones that.
know.
Yeah, Honey's a cut character. She's not actually in the game, but you can like unlock her with like if you hack the game. And then I think they technically added an official way to unlock her in like the PS3 version, which I really appreciated when you go in when they re-release old games like that. But they restore old content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't even know there was a PS3 version. Very
Yeah,
surprising.
I didn't for the longest time. I thought there was the GameWorks in Seattle had a Sonic Championship arcade cabinet, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. It's like, wow, a Sonic fighting game. This is like, it's just wild, you know? I mean, because but now it's like it got released on Sonic Gems Collection, I believe. It was on PS2, I think. So it's accessible now. Then it had a wider release on next gen. I'm not sure if that was the latest release. I think it might have been, honestly.
I find it interesting that Bean is like all the other characters are like Sonic the Hedgehog, Knuckles the Echidna, Bark the Polar Bear, but Bean is Bean the Dynamite.
Yeah, he's such a weird character. I don't know why they do this, but they'll like have random characters like tie into older lore of older games. Like there's this old game called Dynamite Ducks, and it's like it doesn't star Bean, but it has these weird ducks that like they look just like him, but they're not, then one of them's blue and his name is Bin, and then like if you like buy this like one random Japanese guidebook, it like states like, oh, by the way, Bin is Bean's father. It's like, what the fuck? Why is that the case?
That is really random.
I'm going to use the restroom really quick, but I can still hear you guys. I'll be right back.
Wow, very professional. That's the Gush podcast, ladies and
How
gentlemen.
dare you use the restroom? Who do you think you are?
Just piss your pants like an adult.
Yeah, just pee into a cup.
Okay. In the meantime, we'll do another question. This one's gonna test your knowledge of Sonic outside of Sega. In Simpsons episode, Marge Be Not Proud, Bart sees a
he goes,
hallucination.
just take it.
That is correct.
If you're gonna ask what he says, that's
That
what he
was
says.
exactly what I was gonna ask, and I was hoping that you would do the voice like that too.
Yeah, that's funny. They referenced that line from that Simpsons episode in Lego Dimensions. If you have Lego Sonic next to Lego parts.
Are you serious? That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he says some reference where he basically just says, take it. I was like, that's hilarious. Yeah, I loved seeing Sonic in The Simpsons, dude. I was ecstatic to see that. I love that episode.
Yeah, that's classic Simpsons era right there.
Definitely. Well, that's Buy Me Bone Stormer, go to hell!
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Wow, that kid's. What does he say? He's like, he like looks at that kid who's like yelling at his mom, and he's just like, that must be
Right.
the happiest kid of all time.
Right? He's like, buy me too, I don't want to share with Caitlin. Yeah, that's a good bit.
Wow, this game's amazing, and I'm just on the name entry screen.
Thrill Ho. It's such a good bit, dude. That's a great episode. I mean, obviously as a kid, I just loved it because, dude, video games. I love video games. I love seeing video games on TV, even if it's like whatever. But yeah, in The Simpsons, that was obviously some good jokes. And that was one of my favorite fucking and like they don't usually do like bits over the ending credits, but that is the Lee Carvello's putting challenge where he's like, you've selected Power Drive. Like, would you like to play again? You've selected no. I don't know why that's so funny. There's some great timing in that one, yeah. Just recite that whole episode here.
Well, I'm glad that you can, because I'm like personally a huge Simpsons fan and am constantly blurting out quotes that no one understands.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people in our like age demographic who had like the first like 10 or so seasons of The Simpsons like ingrained into their mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Deeply in there, or like deeply affected the way like my sense of humor formed. You know what I mean?
It's for the better, I think. Like those old episodes hold up so well.
I was just talking about this to someone else who was like, he didn't watch Simpsons as a kid, and he's like, oh, I don't think it held up. It was just nostalgic. I was like, you motherfucker! If you ever say anything bad about classy Simpsons again in front of me.
Was he saying that like just like after watching the old episodes, or was he just like...
he was just saying he never really was that into the show. He said he was just not a big fan, and I was about to be like, okay, I'm gonna get this list of episodes. You need to watch Last Exit of Springfield. You only move twice. You need to watch this episode or this episode. And if you ever say anything bad about it after watching those episodes, I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker. But It's good. I mean, I like joshing with my friends. I have friends who like straight up don't even like Sonic the Hedgehog, and they're always like teasing me about it. But it's like, I get it, man. It's not for everyone. If you don't like Sonic, that's on you. I mean, it's like I don't. It's not for everyone. I get it. But I think it's cool. I mean, I feel like a lot of people nowadays, if you like play the Sonic game and you just don't like it, then that is. You're well within your rights. I just don't like it when people don't like Sonic without even trying it because there's like, oh, that's cringe, bro. I'm not gonna play Sonic. That's too cringe. Like people are so afraid of being cringe nowadays.
I think some people embrace cringe though.
Right. I feel like the pendulum's swinging back the other way. People are like becoming like, people are so afraid of being cringe they forgot how to be based.
That's definitely a thing. My version of that in high school was like liking Weezer. It'd be like, I was like, oh, so super into their early albums and stuff like that. And then all my friends would just make fun of me and be like, Beverly Hills. That's your favorite song, right?
Oh,
like,
man. Sonic guys. And Weezer have a lot of parallels, as pointed out by Mega64.
Is the White Album Sonic Mania? I think so.
Sure. Or Generations or something. Or is that one considered like good? That. Yeah.
I think Generations is good.
Yeah, people
I like Generations. Yeah. I definitely like. There's things about it that I could nitpick all day long, but I really liked it. It has a very toned down story, but for what it's trying to be, that's perfect. That's fine. It's just like a celebration. I mean, obviously, how could I not like Generations? The whole game is about like jerking off Sonic fans, like showing all these old levels. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even need to say I like it, but probably the best they ever did Boost. Like Unleashed, their very first attempt, weirdly enough, was almost perfect. They did a great job with the Boost stages. But I feel like Generations refined it just a little bit more.
It added more exploration and stuff like that.
Yeah,
more platforming sections.
Definitely, it felt like there were more routes to take, more little like nooks and crannies. And it's funny, it's funny. I have had it gone back and forth. When Classic Sonic was announced and when I first played him, I was like, oh, these are really cool. They're so cute. I'm in 2D again. But I always knew it wasn't quite the same physics. It wasn't quite as good as the Genesis game. So when Mania came out, I was like, oh yeah, the classic Sonic and Generations. I mean, it's good for what it was, but I mean, it's it's not that good. But then Forces came out, and they also had classic Sonic. But the classic Sonic levels in Forces are fucking horrible. I don't know why. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
but after playing those and going back to the ones in Generations, I'm like, oh, actually the classic Sonic stages in Generations are pretty well designed, and they do a lot of interesting things. Like they'll tilt the camera forward. They'll do interesting things with it. They'll be aware that it's in 3D. You could do interesting things with the camera and stuff. You know what I mean? It's not all just
thinking, what's that level of Sonic? It was the Speed Highway, I think. I remember thinking the classic version of Speed Highway was super cool.
Yeah, it had some really cool takes on I loved seeing it was it was a less extreme version of the modern version of the reinterpretation of these stages. That's kind of a mouthful, but like getting to see City Escape in 2D with the truck chasing you was just really quaint and cute. I thought it was I just liked it. I don't know.
Exactly.
I like Generations. Generations is a solidly good game. I'll put my flag down there and say I will defend Generations. There's just some people out there, you put them behind the controller and you let them play a Boost stage and they just do not like it. It just goes too fast. It's like a racing game. I mean, if you think about it like that, it's not too much to think about. But I mean, some people just can't get behind that style of gameplay at all. So if you're not into that, you probably won't like it. But I feel like if you go into Generations with an open mind, I mean, that's a pretty good game.
Okay, bonus trivia question. What game is this screenshot from?
That's technically from Sonic Jam, the museum mode.
Yes.
It's not really a game, except it is a game, because they were going to make a 3D Sonic game on Saturn, but then it was just too late into the system's life cycle. This was after STI had canceled Extreme, and they're like, well, we're just going to move development of this to the Dreamcast. But they didn't want to just take everything they had and throw it in the trash, so they basically used it for just a interactive museum mode. You can walk around in Sonic Jam, which I thought was super cool. You can look at old concept art
that 3D
and
Sonic
commercials and
style.
Shit. Oh, I love low poly Sonic 2. I really wish we
Yeah.
got a low poly Sonic game. Sonic Robo Blast 2 obviously is a great fan game, in that if you can download a nice low poly Sonic model, which really sort of is almost like the missing Saturn game in a way. But yeah, I love the low poly look of Sonic in Sonic Jam. I really wish we could have gotten a game like that.
Were you able to did he have spin dash and all those could you play around with his physics Sonic Jam?
I don't even know if there was a spin dash. I don't think there was. It was mostly you could just run around. There were some springs you could jump on. Tails was flying around, and you could like jump into his arms, and he would carry you around. It wasn't much of a physics demonstration. It was more just like, look, you can control Sonic in 3D, which, believe it or not, just that was enough to like blow people's minds. Like, I remember enjoying Sonic R just because I was walking around in the third dimension as Sonic the Hedgehog. I still love that game just because it's a cheesy, fun racing game, and it's like it's an on-foot Sonic racer. What an interesting concept that has, for whatever reason, never been done since. Even though it seems like not that crazy of an idea, but I don't know.
I guess it, in a canon sense, it makes more sense to have them in vehicles so that they're all actually able
it's
to
fair.
compete.
Plus, I mean, think about it. Sonic likes to go fast. It makes sense that he would like to. He would want to be the fastest driver. And also, I feel like it perfectly makes sense in Transformed, because that ships they transform into a boat and a plane, which obviously Sonic can't fly, so you would need that.
One spinoff I missed out on, but I always thought looked aesthetically kind of interesting, was Sonic Air Riders. How was that?
I was gonna say, I never really fucked around with Riders. It's on my list of, I'm gonna need to like stream it and get into it. I feel bad. That series sort of like it definitely has its fan base. It got like murdered by the Kinect. The last game in the series was a fucking Kinect game, and that was like, well, that didn't do good at all. So they're like, well, no more Riders games, unfortunately.
Kinect.
Yeah, it was a fucking Kinect game, right?
That's a death sentence.
But the first two, mostly the first one, I guess. But I feel like Riders and Zero Gravity, I think, are the first two, what they're called. I've heard a lot of people defend them and like go on record saying that they're really, really fun and good racing games.
I thought the aesthetic, trying them. The character design looks cool, like the cover art where it's like Sonic with the goggles and like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Guy.
You know, you don't have to go crazy if you're redesigning Sonic. Like, you don't have to give him some crazy scarf and change all this shit up. Just give him some goggles and like the board. It looks cool. Reference? Yeah. I mean, actually, I'm sort of come around. Like, Boom isn't that bad. The games are bad, but the show's all right for what it is. As a side sub-franchise, it didn't really need us to be a sub-franchise. Like, I don't know why Sega thought that was such a necessary thing, but like, I don't know. I feel like Riders is a perfect example of like a side franchise that nobody minded. And I didn't really play it that much, but like I liked the bird-looking characters, the Babylon Rogues. Yeah, they look all right. Yeah, it looks cool. It's like as a racing game for Sonic.
Looks like Bean the Dynamite almost.
He does look like Bean, doesn't he? He's a green bird, except he's like edgy. He's like the Shadow the Hedgehog version of Bean for sure, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get into that. I've had a racing retrospective on my like to-do list for ages, where I talk about R and then the Transformed games. And the reason I haven't made it yet is because I need to sit down and do a deep dive into the entire Riders sub-series. It's so sad. We never get like cool, weird spin-offs anymore. Sonic series used to have so many weird spin-offs. And like if they weren't good, like that one where he has a sword, Sonic the Black Knight or whatever, like I never actually really fucked around with the Storybook games that much either. But like, even if they weren't good, it was just a side game. It was just an experiment, you know? I don't feel like it damaged the brand that much. Whereas now they only do main series games. And if those aren't good, those definitely do damage the brand. Like, Forces was not that good for the brand.
Like, I think that people looked at those Storybook games as like almost main games, especially since on the Wii there was nothing else.
That's the thing, it's really easy for me to not let things like that affect my perspective, because I can easily delineate what is and isn't a main series game because I am a huge Sonic fan or whatever. But yeah, games like Sonic Boom, like that's clearly to me a sub-franchise. It's not meant to be infringing on the territory of the main series. But for the average Joe, they don't know that. They just go and they see the new Sonic and he has the scarf and it's not good. They don't care that it's like, you know, a sub-franchise. They're not going to hear that. It's like, oh, don't worry, guys. It doesn't affect the main series. It's like, it's a new Sonic game. Like, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? If it's not good, it's not good. So I definitely hear you from that perspective. And I know for some people, that first Storybook game, the one where he's like the Secret Rings or whatever, that one was not very good apparently.
It was terrible. It was so
bad.
That's
what I heard.
I remember that one. That one's like memory hold for me. Like I remember hearing about it, then never again, because I guess it was just so bad.
Yeah, that one doesn't really get brought up much by Sonic fans. Apparently the sequel, the Black Knight one, was better, but again, I'm not really familiar with those games, to be honest.
Like, I remember the Secret Rings, I legit couldn't figure out how to unlock the next level at some point. Like, it wasn't just as simple as beat the level and continue. It was like, beat the level and then collect a certain amount of things repeatedly and do some weird objective that isn't obvious. And
And that was a game designed fully around like the waggle control. So if you weren't like on board with that, if you weren't 100% on board with waggling, then you're not going to enjoy it either.
Yeah, it was like constantly moving, and you can only like slow down by like tilting up the Wiimote.
I think it was pretty new into the Wii's lifespan, so they were still like, or if it wasn't new, it was like they were still figuring out how to make a game. It was one of the ones that relied on the gimmicks too much. Like there's great Wii games that use a little bit of waggle, it's fine. But when the ones that are like,
I liked the
constantly
Wii version of Shuffle that came with it.
For sure.
At least I like.
Yeah, look at that dark spine Sonic. That was a weird transformation that was only seen in that one game.
Wait, which game is this
Stripe?
That's from Seven Rings.
That's from the
Secret Rings.
I never got to that point.
Right. I used to have so many weird transformations.
Speaking of transformations,
yes,
I feel like there's this like parallel with Dragon Ball Z and Sonic.
Definitely is. Like it's pretty clear that they took some inspiration from the Super Saiyan when they were making Super Sonic, and even beyond that, the 7 Dragon Balls versus the 7 Chaos Emeralds. There's definitely like Sonic has had this weird thing where it will just like straight up like steal elements from other franchises. Like it stole the Death Star from Star Wars, but they made it the Death thing. They just put Robotnik's face on it. But like that never like bothered me. Like I always just love it. Yeah, it was like this weird
it doesn't feel
of, like,
egregious
media elements. Yeah, it's like it's weirdly like original enough while at the same time obviously being
because
like,
it's in this absurd world of hedgehogs and fucking everything else that Sonic has.
It's clearly not like treading on Star Wars' toes to use a giant round space station like that. And even then they sort of like the Death Star and Death Egg clearly was like the inspiration for when they were designing the Ark, which was more original feeling, in SA2, where it has like this weird space station. Yeah, I like that space station as a lot, like as a setting, like a giant laser, weird face looking thing. I thought the Ark was pretty cool.
What I want to see from Sonic is like we have Super Sonic is Super Saiyan 1, Hypersonic is Super Saiyan 2, and Hypersonic is like the most badass thing that Sonic has done in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I want the next level.
I would love to see a Super Saiyan 3 version of Sonic. First of all, it'd look ridiculous if it was like straight up Super Saiyan 3 where his hair just grows out. But like,
cool.
I'm not super optimistic. Like, I don't know why Iizuka, the guy in charge, they don't like the Super Emeralds. The Super Emeralds only exist because there were 7 emeralds in Sonic 3 and there were 7 emeralds in Sonic and Knuckles. And then when you put them together, I guess we have 14 emeralds. I guess there's this thing called the Super Emeralds now. But like apparently they think that's too confusing. Like they don't like having multiple levels of super transformation for Sonic, which I think is dumb because I agree. As a kid, I thought that was so cool having the Super Sonic, and then there's a level above Super Sonic. There was Hyper Sonic, and he has even more abilities. He's got that air dash, and he can kill everything on screen.
And he looks even cooler.
Crazy. Yeah, he flashed all the colors of the emeralds, so he was like rainbow, but he wasn't like a glowing rainbow. You know what I mean? He was mostly like glowing white, but just like you could briefly see the other shades come. It was a really cool aesthetic effect. Honestly, I liked it. And I would love to see Hypersonic return and or a next level, but I would say don't get your hopes up for that happening anytime soon, unfortunately.
Are we still in the trivia game?
There's 2 questions left. This is the most unfocused trivia thing that's ever
done. No, that's right.
It's okay.
It's
partially on me. It's partially on me.
In Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, which is the one badnik that you can kill?
Oh my god. Okay, you got me.
You don't have to name it. You don't have to name it. You can just describe it.
I'm not really that familiar with Sega Sonic because let me explain why. It's because I don't have a trackball that I can play it with. I need to get one of those big, mices that have like a big fucking ball on them.
Oh,
because that game is supposed to be played with a trackball, and that's why exactly. It hasn't been included in any official compilation since then. You can play it on like an emulator or something. So I'm not saying like, oh, I can't play it. I'm not saying I couldn't have played it, but like it feels wrong playing it without the trackball to me, like because like the whole game experience was designed around rolling that ball, which is a cute little like if you're gonna make a Sonic game and give it a non-traditional like control scheme, giving it a giant trackball to like roll around to control is kind of cute. But yeah, I'm familiar with a lot of little details and development history about Sega Sonic, but then you asked me like a basic gameplay question that if you had beaten the game, you'd probably know, which I don't because I've never actually sat down and beaten it.
Well, the answer was Sea Snake Bot from Wild Water Way.
I see. See, I probably know who you're talking about, but
actually, I think I have a picture of it here. Let me send it to you. It's like a really
Sega Sonic the Hedgehog is a very interesting game because it was an arcade game that came out so early they still had to use the Sega Sonic license because when they first were trying to license Sonic, there was like some band that had the like rights to Sonic, so they legally couldn't, or to cover their own ass, they put Sega Sonic in the title of a few things, and then I guess they got the rights to it.
Wait, what else has Sega Sonic in the title?
Some of their other like Japan only arcade things, like the Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop and the Sega Sonic, just like they used it for like just advertisement. Like all these Sonic toys that officially came out in like 1991 will say Sega Sonic on like the tag or whatever instead of Sonic the Hedgehog.
You know,
like
it's kind of convenient
Japan-only
though,
term.
because
yeah, it does actually. It makes it easier to search, right? Because
Exactly,
Sonic is
yeah.
like an actual word that will show up a lot. Like, well, Sonic and Hedgehog together are pretty good at getting what you want. But like, yeah, Sega Sonic is definitely much easier to Google than Sonic because Sonic is just a sound term.
yeah, exactly. And plus, like Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, if you take out the Sega, it's just Sonic the Hedgehog. So it's like you're gonna get so many things before you find the arcade game.
You'll
Right.
get Sonic
Oh, yeah,
06
God.
before you get that.
Probably.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of finding this one game, if it was just called Sonic the Hedgehog Arcade, it would be a pain in the ass to get any sort of information on.
Okay. This is the final question. What year did the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie come out?
Well, I'm gonna get all
Wait,
technical.
what?
Didn't it? Are you talking about the 1994 OVA? Is it 1994 or 1993? I can't really remember.
first Sonic
No, it
Hedgehog
can't be 93. So is it 94 or is it later than that? It might be 96 actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, the tape definitely didn't come out in America. The dub for a little longer than that. Actually, fuck the dub. The dub might have come out in like 99 actually. Now that I think about it, but it was from the mid 90s if you're talking about the OVA, which technically is not a movie. It's 2 original episodes, which was like a pitch for a series that didn't get picked up. So they're like, whatever, let's just call it the movie. Slap both episodes together and release it in America on a VHS. By the way, I love that fucking VHS tape, dude. It's white. I don't know why. As a kid, tapes that weren't the right color and cartridges that weren't the right color.
I was gonna say it's
were my
exactly
favorite
like when
shit.
you got like an N64 cartridge.
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
Donkey Kong
I love those
64.
fucking
So
cartridges.
wait, there
that
was
weren't
a
the right
Sonic
color.
movie before the 2021?
Yeah, an anime.
Yeah,
like,
it's an anime. It's like 2 episodes
Okay.
of an anime.
I'm gonna give you a
that-
point for that. You named like every possible year, but you said
named every
1996,
year.
so that's the. That is
You
the
can
year.
give me a half point because I said 4 first. I don't know why I thought it was 4. That was way too early. I
shit.
had to do some mental math here because I knew I didn't see it that early. I don't think I even saw it at 96. I was thinking about like the English version, but I'm pretty sure the Japanese release. Yeah. That
So
would've
what
been
is
my-
the total score out of total possible?
You asked 2 questions, right, Greg? That was your total number.
I asked, yes, 2 questions, yeah. The
Okay, so
Sonic
then-
Jam one and the Emerald one.
You got exactly 50% correct.
Hey,
4.5
this
out
is
of 9.
this is what I want to tell all of my
It's rough.
aspiring people out there who want to make videos. People think I'm the Sonic lore master. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about. I don't even know what year Sonic 1 came out. The thing
You've
is,
only scratched
when
the
you're writing a
surface.
video,
Liar,
you can
you
just
know.
take as long as you want to write that script, dude. You can fact check everything. When you're making a video, you can be the smartest guy in the world because you can take all the time you need to fact check and make sure you got all the correct information. Whereas when you're like live streaming or something, like I never consider myself like a good live streamer because you have to like know things on the spot and be like good at games on like your first try. That's hard, man. Also, I love that fucking picture of Titan Tails with all the weird Tailses in the background. Fucking
The Sonic universe is so vast, so deep in certain areas. There's this whole Sonic comics. There's,
yeah, the Sonic.
I mean, there's so
comic
much.
Is,
There's so much.
Is a lot. Yeah, that's one thing I would always say about Sonic versus Mario is like if you like Mario, it's because you just like the games and you're a guy who likes video games, and that's totally fine.
there's
But it's
no
like Sonic. There are
lore.
straight up Sonic fans out there, like actual who love the character. People probably like actual huge fans out there who like never played the games, or if they do, they just don't care about the games. People who got into comics, people who got into like the shows. There were 2 Sonic the Hedgehog shows airing in America at the same time with completely different tones. It was like, why did that happen? That doesn't make any sense now that I'm like looking back. Like as a kid, it made sense to me because that's just how it is. But now it's like, why would you do that? That's like weird. But
I
like
think the
whatever.
Sonic lore is just so much more compelling than Mario lore. Like, I like Mario. Like the world is cool, but like Bowser as a villain is just so basic. Whereas Dr. Robotnik is.
Yeah,
He's, like,
I
more
love
egotistical
Robotnik.
and-
I think Robotnik's just a fantastic villain. I think a good villain goes a long way. Mario is so good, but it's so like sterile. It's just like the baseline for a good basic video game. Like I really feel like to hate Mario is weird, but to like, yeah, you don't find Mario fans who are as crazy passionate as Sonic fans. Like there's just so much to, yeah, exactly like you said, there's so much to dig your teeth into. Like that Sonic comic was running like uninterrupted from the 90s. There were almost 300 issues, and then it finally ended not that long ago, back in 2017. But now there's a new Sonic comic that's going on. So it's like there's plenty of like alternate media to get into if you really dig the characters. There's plenty of like there's like 5 shows. There's a new Netflix show coming out. in 2022. There's a lot of like shit you can get into for Sonic, and for some people just like hey, I just really like the character design. I feel like even if you don't like Sonic, like at the end of the day, even if you hate the games and hate everything about him, you have to admit he's got a very like iconic, good character design.
Hey kids, drink liquor.
Yeah, so many amazing Sonic Says segments.
Do you guys have a favorite song OST from any of the Sonic games, and if so, which one is it?
Oh, that's hard.
That is really hard, especially for me. I feel like there's a million things that
Or
could
like
go to.
top three. How about top?
If we're talking about Genesis games, like just songs from a Sonic game, Hydra City Act 2 is like probably my favorite classic Sonic song.
That's a good one.
Death Egg Zone Sonic 2.
When I think of actual like Sonic songs, I probably have to say like Live and Learn might be up there for me. It's definitely my top 3. And then as far as other songs, like the some of Gamma's music from SA1, like the beta fight, the final fight from Gamma's story in SA1 is probably up there. It's one of my top faves. That's in my top. Those are probably my top 3. I'm not sure the order.
Okay, Sam.
There's a lot of good songs in Sonic Adventure 1. The Egg Carrier, I really like that song.
Here's a remix I made as a kid. It says Death Egg remix, but it's actually of the final battle from Sonic 2.
Hell yeah. Honestly, it's kind of weird. Like that basically is the Death Egg unique song is that final fight, because there is a song for Death Egg in Sonic 2, but you only hear it for 3 seconds until you walk to the right. It's so weird.
It's a good song though. I really like it.
I know, it's so weird that they made like a good song.
Wait, it's in the game for 2 seconds?
It's like there's a hallway, and
you start Death Egg Zone in this little hallway, and then like it's the final level in Sonic 2 is like 2 rooms, each has a boss fight, but like right when you start in the little hallway.
I think I know.
Yeah, with no rings. And there's like a full like minute and a half long song that'll play if you just stand and don't move. But like I assume it's because they were going to make a real Death Egg level, and then at the end they're like, we don't have time for this or something. I have to assume, because they wouldn't just make a whole song like that for no reason. That would be crazy.
I remember it being like the most badass thing ever when I finally got to Death Egg Zone as a kid in Sonic 2. And there was like this cool space station place with that badass song playing, and there was no rings, and there was like an anxiety.
They made it really feel epic, you know what I mean? Because like they had the whole Wing Fortress, which is a hard level, but then they have the whole little cutscene where you're riding in a space. It is just a cool, like, the Sonic games just do a good job of setting the mood, you know? Like, for like the final showdown. It's always like in space or some crazy shit like that. It's not always in space, but like,
often it is.
It's cool. It's often in space.
Hedgehogs in space. That could be a cool, like, I don't know, spin-off, Hedgehogs in Space. Is that? I feel like that's the name of something. Is that the name of something?
That's the Dragon Ball GT of Sonic.
There's also a poster in Sonic Adventure for Chao in Space. And it's like a meme.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
It was a meme. There was just a Chao in Space poster, and then there was a Chao in Space 2 poster in Sonic Adventure 2. And it was just like a little meme for the longest time. And then, like, not that long ago, they made an actual Chao in Space animation for their YouTube account.
That's awesome. See, they care about their fans. I can admire that.
The Sonic fandom, they like the people in charge are sort of like vaguely aware that, like, this fandom has been doing its work keeping the series alive. You know what I mean? So I feel like they're appreciative. And there was a time Aaron Weber was in charge of the Twitter account, and Sonic Twitter was one of the first Twitters that was trying to be out there posting funny things for every single corporate account.
My favorite songs are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hit me up. I want to hear these, honestly.
I like I'm gonna kind of sound like a SA2 fanboy here,
Pumpkin
but
Hill.
Pumpkin Hill is great. Actually,
I almost said Pumpkin
I don't
Hill.
know if it's in my top 5, but it's actually like a good beat. Like no joke, it's good.
I also unironically really like it.
I can groove to all the Knuckles raps.
I like It Doesn't Matter. I always thought that
that's
had
a
a
great
good
song.
message of like, it doesn't matter who's wrong or right. Something we have to give up the fight. We can't give up the fight.
It's a great theme for Sonic. It really captures his essence.
I posted this in the chat, but I'm also partial to the Tails theme because I just like, it was almost like, I always viewed Tails as like this sort of underdog, like sidekick who always wanted, like, I forgot where I got this from, but he was like, he always thought Sonic was so cool. Tails did. Like, he always looked up to Sonic and he wanted to be cool like Sonic. That's always the vibe I got from him, which was an interesting perspective, I guess. I don't. Maybe I
hear you. I like that song a lot because I associate it with the adventure portrayal of Tails, which is probably like the best portrayal we ever got, because he was actually like, he does look up to Sonic and he was like falling around, but in the adventure games, he actually does things on his own, and he saves Station Square from Eggman. Everyone's cheering him on at the end of SA1, and then SA2, like he's the main rival to Eggman. You know, like Sonic's fucking up. They mostly fucks with Shadow, and you know it's like Tails is actually in charge.
Tails
and,
is like
you know,
the Gohan of Sonic.
And there's
Adventure.
that's a pretty good way to put it, honestly. Yeah, 'cause there's a lot of things. Yeah, you know, Shadow's the Vegeta. There's a lot of parallels there that are, you know. There's the scene where Sonic gets launched out in the capsule and
Knuckles
like it looks like he
Piccolo.
died, and then Tails, he just gets his shit together and he fights Eggman. It's pretty good, honestly.
Wait,
yeah,
what
I
is
really
the
like
Tails theme though? I can't for the life of me remember.
Well, there's the one I'm referring to is from Adventure 2, where it's like, I wanna be something. No, 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 no.
I don't
I think it's called
remember.
Believe in Myself. It's pretty
Yeah,
good. I mostly am
good.
familiar with the SA1 renditions because you have to hear those a lot. Like
Yeah, the
you hear them over
SA1
credits.
Also had a version of. I think they also had a version of.
Yeah, the Sonic theme. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah,
pretty
and they
good.
also had. What's the other one that people love? Oh my god, it's the one that's like.
Fire.
Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah,
that one-
Amy's song.
the Amy
There's
song.
also a version of Knuckles' theme because he doesn't have like raps for every stage in that one, but he does have his own rap.
What is
song,
his
sort
theme
of.
like? I forget.
Sort of R&B actually, kind of.
Oh
It's called Unknown
yeah,
from ME.
that was sick. And Shadows is like Corpse Husband, basically.
Yeah, Shadow has like industrial like type music, which is cool. I feel like I like the characters having like themes in SA2 that really capture their personality. And you know, Rouge has that song that's all like, you know, seductive or whatever. It's pretty good, honestly. They
cool.
really do a good job with the music
Yeah.
in SA2.
I thought
In
Heroes had
all
good
the Sonic
music,
games,
too.
but I love the adventure games. Really, they have great soundtracks.
Heroes had good music too.
Yeah,
Heroes had
you
good
almost
music.
need
Even
two
Shadow
separate.
had pretty good music. Even 06, for God's sake, had good music. But like, I really
of
like
them
the
have
adventure.
good
Maybe I
music.
like the adventure games more just because I like the adventure games.
You
That's
kind of
probably
need
why.
a separate category for 3D Sonic games music versus the classic Sonic games music, though.
Yeah, for
In
sure.
terms
Oh
of
yeah,
classic,
that's sort of what I was saying earlier. Like Hydra City Zone Act 2 is like my
Yeah.
favorite for that, and I really love
Chemical Plant
Studiopolis
Zone.
from Mania. That's
Oh,
one
yeah,
of my
that's a good
favorite
one.
from that.
I've used a lot of
But,
Mania music in my videos actually.
Yeah, Sonic, I feel like so lucky that like, you know, video game music is one of the few types of music that for whatever reason doesn't get you fucked over super hard on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then Sonic has like so much
Dude.
music I can draw from if I need to.
Rooftop Run from.
Yes,
is that from
that's a
Gener-
great
from
fucking
Colors?
track. Unleashed has some amazing
Unleashed,
fucking tracks,
yeah.
dude.
Love that.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this before. Unleashed has like really the werehog stages have like some banging music, but you never get to hear it because
It does, yeah.
constantly
Even the
in a
battle
fight.
track that everyone hates is a good song if you like had never heard it before and you listen to it one time. You're like, oh, that's a cool like jazzy tune. You just learn to hate it because you have to hear the first 10 seconds 4,000 times. Oh, and you
Yeah.
never get to hear the cool background music. And yeah, they really do have some very nice, moody, jazzy, like atmospheric songs for the werehog.
It seems like that it's like the music and the visuals is something that Sega has never really like fucked up on. They've always like improved or like held a high
Right.
quality.
A lot of like Sonic is a lot of spectacle and style too. You know, people will always say that as like a huge like slight against them, like, oh, there's no substance, there's only spectacle and style. It's like I wouldn't say there's no substance or whatever, but I feel like spectacle is an important part of game design. You have
It
to have
is.
cool moments, like even if sometimes they are scripted sequences. Like don't over rely on them. Absolutely, that's a fair complaint that sometimes Sonic does will over rely on these scripted sequences. But you know, just shit like the whale and the gun chase, the gun truck chase from City Escape. Those are just nice moments.
Yeah, they get your adrenaline pumping. You feel like there's an immediate danger and stuff.
Cybershell might be the only human to talk as fast as Sonic runs.
It is funny because I actually when I'm recording videos I like have to like remind myself and like tell myself over and over again like you have to talk like 10% slower than you think you need to when you're recording a video, or at least I do, like because otherwise I ramble way too fast. I also like get like halfway into a thought and then I'll just completely take a left turn and I won't even like finish my original thought.
You could
I'm
probably
like
give
the
Ben
exact
Shapiro a run
opposite.
for his money.
Oh man, you guys should debate Sonic.
Hell yeah. Big
Hypothetically, if Sonic
debates.
was the ultimate life form.
I'm the opposite. I'm when I'm recording stuff, I'm constantly like I have to speak faster. I'm speaking too slowly.
It's good to speak clearly. It's better to speak clearly and a little too slowly than it is to mumble and
Yeah.
slur your words together like I have.
I've come around to that. Definitely, when I first started making videos, for some stupid like I had the Sonic mentality of thinking speed equals good because it's like impressive. Because I don't.
Right.
The thing is, not everyone can talk fast. So when you can, it does feel kind of like powerful to just flex on someone and say 1,000 things in 10 seconds. You know. But
like
for
show
a YouTube
girls
video,
your videos, but look how fast I'm talking.
yeah, or whatever. No, just like in a conversation, you're just like, well, hypothetically, blah 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 blah. You give someone a whole spiel.
The
in
old
like 10
Destiny
seconds.
strategy.
Yeah, sometimes you can just get into it. I know what you mean.
Because it shows what you're talking about. But for YouTube, it's not always good.
They need to hear you, you know what I mean? They need to have time to mentally process the things you're saying.
Yeah. And even
They
just
might
for
not even speak
conversations,
English
too.
as a first language. I feel like it's a lot of our videos probably go out to people who like English isn't their first language.
That's so weird to think about.
It's true.
I'll like look at my like analytics sometimes, and it's like, people in like Africa and like Saudi Arabia are watching my video. I'm like, what the fuck?
They're watching
Really?
Sonic 3 bonus video.
I don't know why. That's so weird to me. Like, because like obviously most of my traffic at least comes from America, and then a lot of it comes from like England and Europe.
It
and
is
all
weird
that.
to think about that.
But there are some people out there who's like, I don't even know. I figure some people must be like spoofing their IP. You get like 1 or 2 hits from like Antarctica. It's like, what the fuck is?
You know what
some
it's like?
researcher down there?
It's like the ending scene from Adventure 2, where like you see all those people from all over the world.
yeah, all
That's
those
kind of what
CGI
it's
people all looking over. I always like forget that's in the game, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, you always get those comments every now and then, like greetings from like Jakarta or
Right.
something.
Yes, and
Yeah.
people from Brazil are always like insane. They want you to come visit their country. They're like, come visit Brazil. It's like, no, it's like I feel like you're trying to kill me right now. You're trying to like rob me. Like, you're trying to take me to go to Brazil.
I want.
But I think
your
it's
skin.
actually it's just like a meme. People just they just like Brazil. They just want you to come visit. I don't know.
Probably. I'm sure it's
must
not
be
like
nice
ill
there.
intent. They're just fans.
Right. It's very threatening. Where it's like, come to Brazil. It's like, come on, dude. I'm doing my own thing.
I'll
But
show
yeah,
you Knuckles Chaotix fundamentally flawed. Come to Brazil.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a threat. But no, it's really cool. Like, it's really weird to think about how many people can watch your videos. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. You put like 100 people in a room, I would get like nervous talking in front of them. But then I'll make a video like 100,000 people will see it. And it's just like whatever.
It's very hard to conceptualize when it comes like that number. You can say the number 100,000 or even 10,000, and it's like you have a certain idea of how many people that is or how popular that is. But like, you're right. I mean, you could see 200 people in a room and be like, wow, that's a lot of people. But it's just, the internet is just hard to process mentally for humans, what we're wired for.
Yeah,
like,
it's weird, man.
I can't
it's
fathom
like,
a million viewers.
You're not meant to like know more than 100 people on like a first name basis or whatever. You know what I mean? Like the human brain can only know so many people. So it's like, trying to keep track of all this stuff and then just mentally keeping track. Like I go to like a full like packed stadium. And it's like there's only 22,000 people. If I only had like 22,000 people watch like a video I spent forever on, I'd be like, oh shit, I probably didn't do a good enough job or whatever. So it's like now it's like, fuck, dude. That's another weird thing about YouTube is that, like no matter how like successful you get, the only thing that'll ever happen is you'll just adjust your standards upwards, and you'll always
100%.
you'll find new ways to be disappointed. Like I can't wait to be like 10 years from now, a video only gets 1 million views. I'm like, god damn, what a piece of shit video that was. You know what I mean?
It's like that. I feel would like be what Mr. Beast thinks. He's like, this only got 1 million views. Like this is the worst video I've ever
that's
made.
crazy. There are literally guys like that. Yeah, like Mr. Beast,
nuts.
and even I guess Corpse Husband. That what do they? What's their idea of a bad metric? You know what I mean? Like not like 100 million. You don't trend on Twitter for breathing. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
The real issue comes in like no one stays at that level forever. So it's like once you've adjusted your standards so high, like can you deal with having to readjust them lower again?
Right. That's a real thing with a lot of YouTubers, especially people who've been around for a long time, is that they have to like adjust to their post like peak. Not that they could never get back up to that point. In fact, a lot of them have like, peaked and then like sort of had a lull period and then like, gone back in popularity. But it is weird to think that that can happen. You know what I mean? Where it's like the things that the average YouTuber wants, like the like tastes change over time. The things that would get you popular as fuck in 2010, you could show up to the scene doing that now and nobody would turn ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Things like longer videos. People used to make like 1 hour long analytical videos and people were like, holy shit, this video is an hour. I remember when the fucking first Plinkett review came out, I was like, this video is an hour long talking about Star Wars video. That's insane. Can you imagine making an hour long video talking about a Star Wars movie? Now it's like the new Star Wars movie comes out. There's like 410 hour long analysis. It's like whatever.
There's a 7 hour there's a 7 hour like Pokemon Ruby or something review.
That's by Shay May, who actually has made some really good Sonic videos. So I sat down and watched it on 2x speed though.
I mean, for me, it's somewhere like you watch parts at a time. You know what I mean?
A lot of people on YouTube don't even watch your videos. They'll just throw them on in the background, which is crazy. It's like, I spent all this time editing the video. You're supposed to look at the screen, you motherfuckers. But I can't really be mad at someone who's consuming my content how they want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think like it's kind of like the podcast age now, where people want to listen to someone talk.
Yeah, podcasts are definitely.
What matters
in vogue.
more
Like,
is the content,
Not just
the
now,
substance.
but like now is a good time for it for sure.
That's why whenever I'm writing a script, I try to avoid relying on information coming exclusively through a visual medium.
Yeah, I was just talking to Kenny Lauderdale about this, he just did a video where he had something wrong in the script or whatever, so he put like a subtitle correction on screen, but like a bunch of people just didn't look at it or whatever, so I got a bunch of the same comments or whatever. So yeah, you really do have to keep that in mind, that there are some people who are only watching your video in the background, either on a second monitor where they're not really fully looking at it, or straight up like on a tab where they can't see it at all. You know what I mean?
It would be interesting to figure out, like, if you could find some way of knowing if that's the number of people who only listen, let's say, or primarily only listen.
See, that's an
increasing.
analytic I would love to fucking know. YouTube's not going to tell me.
They measure it too.
Really? Interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, for sure.
They even measure like the movement of your mouse on the screen. Like they're measuring everything.
That makes perfect sense. I believe that they would measure every single thing they can for their little analytics. You know what I mean? Because that's the valuable part for them, is the analytics mostly. Like because they can sell that shit for like advertisers or whatever. Which is so weird to think that's how it works.
Like at the end of the day, YouTube's goal is to create a system that keeps people on their website for as long as possible, so they can see as many ads as possible.
Right. That's why people have all these like conspiracy theories about the alt-right wormhole or the pedophile wormhole. It's like, no, it just the algorithm's just good at seeing the videos you've already clicked on and then giving you more videos like that. You can find any wormhole if you look hard enough.
Everything's a rabbit hole, yeah.
And it's just based.
There's a sonic rabbit hole.
If there's an alt-right wormhole, it just means that those videos are like doing a good job at keeping people interested.
Right. Yeah. That's the good and bad part about the algorithm is it's an algorithm. It's a robot. It doesn't make value judgments. It only can know like what people like to watch. It doesn't ever judge what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It only has like value judgments that are like built into it. Like, oh, this is like for 18 plus because we like labeled it as such.
Right. Yeah, it's weird to think about. Honestly, the algorithm is like, I remember I used to never, ever trust the YouTube homepage to ever deliver me anything good. And now I actually admit that sometimes it'll pop up a video and I'm like, that actually kind of looks interesting. Maybe I'll click on it. But then I have to give the robots the satisfaction of knowing that they picked out a video that I wanted to watch.
I actually resist clicking on things unless I'm very interested because of that.
I know what you mean, man.
I don't
want to
like the
warp
algorithm.
your recommended.
No, I just don't want to like feed the algorithm. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to watch
just for the longest time, I was able to get everything I needed from my subscriptions. And now it's like, I don't know, I'm just subscribed to a lot of people. And sometimes they put out just stuff. I'm like, whatever. And then sometimes I just see something in like the recommended that's like, oh, I just want to watch that instead. I don't know. I used to never, I swear to God, I used to like never do that.
I've gotten to the point where I'm like almost exclusively just clicking things on my homepage now.
Right.
It's like unless a specific YouTuber I like has uploaded content and I'm there for that reason, I'll click YouTube because I'm bored, and then I'll see like some stupid, just nothing video. Especially lately, it seems like I'm always being recommended like some 30-second video, and the next thing I know, I'm watching like 20 minutes of 30-second videos.
Right. Yeah, dude, the algorithm is so weird. Sometimes I swear to God, it pushes like 2 hour and a half hour long analysis type stuff. Sometimes people are like, it's on a long video binge. And then sometimes I'll make just some short shit posty type videos. The algorithm decides, oh no, I like this stupid shit post. Like I made some shitty meme video where I read a 4chan post about Kif and it got like 600,000 views. I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
I literally made this. I have no idea. I didn't post it anywhere. I didn't do anything. It just got picked up by the algorithm or something.
Was this on the Cybershell channel?
Yeah. Again, I just post shit there just because I think it's funny. It's nice to have a channel I can just post shit on when I just genuinely, I don't really give a shit if it's going to like perform well. I just put it there because I just wanted to make a shitty meme shit post. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting that it was like a few seconds. I think I've seen it. It was like less than a minute long, right?
Yeah, it's like 30 seconds, something around that area, maybe a little longer.
Views. That's like TikTok numbers.
I don't get it, man. I really don't ever.
Those are TikTok numbers,
I never have
kid.
geared my. That's another thing, dude. Like again, I try not to be too much of a boomer, but like TikTok is officially like I've never used it. I have no interest in using it. But it's like you said,
dude,
they are coming on to YouTube. They are affecting the YouTube landscape, so I can't just ignore it. I mean,
but this is where we become
but it's like
boomers.
affecting me.
I mean,
this
TikTok
is our
has
boomer moment.
The best discoverability of any social media platform right now.
Right. Again, I don't hate it just because it's different, but it's just like I just feel like I'm old. Like I don't want to learn to use a new site or program because I'm lazy. Like it's literally just that. But I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's fucking. That's like more popular than YouTube for a lot of young people or whatever. I mean, I didn't really use Vine that much, but I felt like I sort of got Vine, like I sort of understood it.
It was
and
simple.
This is like
It was
the
just
next
like
step.
6-second video.
Right.
That's it.
It was a simple enough gimmick that I was like, okay, I get it. Whereas
Yeah.
TikTok is more just like shorter. They have their own like weird ecosystem of like lip syncing and sea shanties was popular for a while. I don't know if that's still going on. I just have to like watch from a distance and be like, interesting.
It's definitely a major player in internet culture now, or just real life culture
Right.
in general.
Well,
I've
who
seen
knows? It
people-
might replace YouTube in terms of like the go-to video.
Yeah,
platform.
maybe.
It's insane to think, but like that's actually like something. Yeah, I think about like at this point, the idea of something replacing YouTube is so hard to imagine, but it could happen. I mean, and if it could happen, it could easily be TikTok because that's the one all the fucking young kids are already on. So it's like all YouTube has to do is make a few like bad decisions, like from a business perspective. I'm not just a few, but they have to do some. They'd have to fuck up pretty bad to like drive everyone off the site. But it's not. People just are going to assume that it's there forever. But don't ever. This is like what we said at the beginning. Don't ever put all your eggs in one basket, specifically the
Yeah.
YouTube basket. Not that I think Twitch is like amazing compared to YouTube. I don't. I actually think Twitch is pretty shitty.
Yeah,
but
it's so much worse.
but
Sadly.
I still think you should, if you can, diversify your
Well, it's kind of like
your
Sonic
online
games.
shit.
You don't want to just have everything
Right.
riding on the mainline games. You want a little bit of spin-off games too, so that way you can try
Definitely,
some new
man.
things.
Definitely.
Get those other characters in there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I was like toying with the idea with Greg of like I don't even know exactly what it would be though, but like we start a website that's just like a throwback to those old websites or whatever.
Dude,
I love websites, man. I miss going and exploring new websites. Like I would love
Same.
to see a website. I'm pro that idea. The only thing is, like, I'm warning you, is like nobody else likes to go on websites anymore. Kids say it's not even that they don't like to go on websites. That's just not how the internet works for them. The internet to them is like 5 different websites, like YouTube,
5 different apps.
like Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and like that's it. Like that's the internet to them. You know what I mean? It's so weird.
Right.
Whereas like the internet used to just be like 100,000 different. Like there could be anything on any URL. Or now it's like there are still websites. I mean, I'm not being a complete insane doomer about it. I know websites still exist, but I feel like
No,
so
you're
much
right.
of the internet
It's
is
definitely-
centralized.
It's become like the ones that are apps, basically, are the ones that the
Yeah,
kids go on.
apps
But
have taken over
I
the
don't-
internet.
Part of why I was like inspired to do this is because it just feels like I'm rejecting like the way things are now if I create a website. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, man. It feels like it would be fun just to do it. You know what I mean? Just to be like, the only way people could ever go back to using websites is if websites existed. So
Exactly,
someone has
yeah.
to make them. It is just
like,
crazy though,
what-
thinking about like apps. Like think about how much web traffic period comes from phones now compared to like
This
in
is
my
the-
mind.
this
I'm
is
just a boomer
literally in
using
the
that fucking
script.
desktop computer. But like I was looking at my YouTube analytics not that long ago, and it's like over half my fucking views are coming.
Yeah.
It was about 54%. Was like half from phones. I was like, damn, why do I care so much about uploading in a nice resolution when most people are looking at this shit on a phone? But
Yeah.
you still gotta care about that stuff. But it is crazy just to think the internet is just fundamentally the way people access it is different. You know what I mean?
This
That's
is
actually a really good point.
quite literally written into my script for my next video, like exactly that stat you're talking about with
Right.
what percentage of traffic comes from phones and all that, and it's only increasing too. It's not,
Yeah,
a temporary
exactly.
trend.
Most people again in like third world and just other countries. Yeah, like when you gain access to the internet for the first time, a lot of people, like most people, their gateway to the internet is a phone, a smartphone now. So
And young people
a lot
too,
of
like you
websites
said.
designed for desktop, which is just to me that's the default in my mind. That'll always just be the default is sitting at your computer to make and sit and use websites. But like for a lot of people, a lot of this stuff is app based and is phone based and mobile based now.
Do you think that like if we do this website that we have to like really have like the phones in mind when we're designing it then?
I don't even know if you have to have them in mind, as in like it has to be around them or for them. I would just say make sure that they can use it and it's okay on mobile. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
all I'll say.
What do you
Yeah, I
think
don't know.
would
It'd
like
be nice to have a old style internet forum, or at least
Yeah,
a
like, that's what I
community.
was-
I
Stuff
like,
like
yeah, I had a lot of fun on Web 1.0 type forum culture for sure.
what do you
Like,
think would be
it
like
was interesting. It's
the-
gone now. Like, it's not all gone, but like a lot of it is changed.
What do you think is like the hook that we would need to keep people like what's like something that you would think would be necessary in the modern climate to get people to want to continue going to a website that isn't one of like these big corporate websites?
Dude, It's hard, man. It's hard because if you just market it as like some sort of free speech angle, you're just going to attract everyone who's kicked off of all these other sites, and then your site is going to get labeled as like some sort of far right hate speech forum just because you're attracting the wrong kind of people. So it's hard, man. It's hard because like I would love to like make a site and you just tell people like, oh, it's like old forum culture, it's like old internet culture, like that could get me interested in it. But yeah, the kind of hook. That's the thing, man.
It has to be
get
based
people
on
off
interest.
of these sites, they're so deeply ingrained in these apps now. It's like really hard to convince them to come spend, like sign up for a new forum. Like I want that to succeed. Like I'm trying to help. I'm trying to think of a good hook, but I can't really think of any like one singular type thing. Like that appeals to me. I'm trying to think of how can I make that like appeal to the average Joe.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll
I mean, this is definitely don't like feel pressure to come up. I just wanted to know like where
I'll
your
think
head
about
is
this.
at.
I'll mull this over in my mind. Let you know if I can think of anything.
Maybe it'll be a
good that
Sonic
might
fan
help.
forum.
Yeah, see, stuff like that, weirdly enough, like that is some of the
That
only
probably
remnants
would
of like
do
my
well.
1.0 forums is like those weird, like fan forums of these specific things.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I
just
still
random
frequent
shit.
a Weezer forum. to
Yeah,
this day.
exactly. Like, yeah, and see, it's actually nice just to be able to like, conglomerate with people who have sort of similar interests as you. You know what I mean? That was one of the first appeals of these sites. Like, oh wow, I can actually get online and talk to other Sonic the Hedgehog fans. It's neat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That used to be like a novelty or whatever. Now it's like I don't know.
Definitely.
People just
It was the
assume
coolest
that's
thing.
there's nothing special about that. I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the key then. It's like take something that's like a more focused interest or whatever, but not something that's already overdone. Take something that like isn't like it's a focused interest that doesn't have its own dedicated website these days because it's a newer interest.
Yeah, something like that. Something to like bring people together. Like, because there has to be some sort of initial spark like that for sure. I mean, I don't know what
Bitcoin.
it is, but yeah.
I just really like that idea of like all these independent websites suddenly like rising up again and taking the space of the internet back.
We're gonna
Right.
start
I
an
would love
internet
for that to
revolution.
happen. I just feel like I don't know the way the internet is and like ads and like hopefully there's not a monopoly on like advertisement. Like who's gonna be not that you need to have like banner ads all over your site for it to succeed, but like just getting the attention you need.
I mean, I'm down to do this idea to make a forum. I'm down for all that. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be cool, but I'm under no illusion that the internet is going back to that anytime soon. I think it's possible that we'll get not to be total doomer like you were saying. I'm not a doomer either, but I think probably the internet's going to be like this or even more extreme like this now, where it's just these apps. But there might be something coming along later. And again, I'm going to be talking about this in my next video, but I think it's very possible we're going to have something that feels as, like social or community driven as those forums did. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it'll be like an AR thing, like something based in real life that confuses internet and real life, like Pokemon Go. Maybe it will be, who knows, right? But I think it's going to be something we don't even expect, possibly.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see like 20 or years from now, like instead of just websites, like VR chat may be getting even more popular. And with the rise of like VTubers and like weird fake avatars, like just like the lines getting even more blurred and like, just like digital environments becoming like the new normal or whatever. Like I see something weird like that happening. Just some kind of paradigm shift.
Maybe the
I could
Sonic
see
universe
something
will be
like that
actualized.
happening.
The Sonic
Exactly.
universe will be a place you can go to.
That would
Hell
be
yeah, dude.
awesome.
That's a Ready Player 2 level of memery.
Yeah, maybe that is what it is. Like the next level is going into that sort of like virtual reality space where we're back at a ground zero, and so it hasn't been like as
Even I was gonna say
corporatized.
like even VR chat, like it might be in a weird, like even if it is on a weird like corporate hosted type thing, there is something about being in like just talking to a small group of people that like tricks your brain into thinking that it's like smaller than it really is. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. It's personal.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like it's more real if you're talking to real people, I guess.
Right.
Or something about, I don't know. I'm so tired of Twitter and like Instagram and all these.
Yeah,
social
Twitter
media
just
sites.
feels so fucking impersonal. Just this endless scrolling of just people getting angry and stuff. It's like there's plenty of good stuff on these sites too, for sure. But like the average, I feel like they're just designed to make people upset. It's kind of weird.
The fact that
absolutely
a
are.
lot of people who use a lot of people in our position, I think, can come to the same conclusions regarding Twitter and social media. My theory is that most of the mass populations who use these sites aren't as invested as we are. They haven't spent as much time.
Right.
They haven't reached that same level of, let's say, frustration. But
right.
I think it gives me hope, because it's like the logical endpoint is once you start using them enough, once you've put enough time, you'll reach the same conclusions, or, you know, most people will. And so that leaves the door for something else, I think.
Yeah, weirdly with COVID and everything, I feel like this last year, I mean, I feel like naturally the course of society was already getting more digital, more online, but I feel like it's even accelerated. It's ramped up even more as people
got
crammed and stuck
it.
in their houses, and they're forced to use shit like Zoom. Can you even imagine being some kid fucking going to school on Zoom? That sounds like a nightmare, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine being like it's bad enough for like high school, and these like first graders, it's like their first year of school. Like this is their formative school experiences. Imagine trying to wrangle 17 first graders over a Zoom call. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? I can see VR chat becoming more popular for shit like that. Like it'd be easier to keep track of kids if you could like look at their weird little digital avatars than trying to yell at one specific kid who's slacking off on a screen of like 10 different kids. I don't know, man. But yeah, like I feel like people are getting forced into being stuck with more of this shit like Twitter, and like I don't know if Twitter really got worse over the last year, if everyone was just stuck inside, but yeah, man, hopefully, yeah, as the average person gets more online, they start to feel the boundaries we've been butting up against these
Who knows?
corporate
Maybe
people for so long.
Maybe in 10 years we'll all meet together in a virtual Chao Garden.
Hopefully, dude, that would be amazing if Sega leaned into VR Chao. That you would get such a more of like a Rush taking care
People
of your
won't
own
even
little
have
baby
kids
Chao
anymore.
if you could see it.
They're just gonna
VR
have Chao.
Chao.
amazing.
It sounds like VR chat. That's
VR
like too good.
It does, dude. Dude, Sega, come on.
VR
This
Chao.
is
That's
a
the new
$1 trillion
thing.
idea you're passing up over here.
Legitimately,
God.
I don't even think it's a joke. I think that it is a $1 trillion idea right there. Like maybe not trillion.
I already
but-
think bringing back Chao is smart, but then I was just thinking, like, I was just putting those two and two together in my mind. Like, think about how people already get attached to their own little Chao. Imagine how attached to your little Chao you get if you actually, like, see it in the 3D space, you know what I mean? And, like,
You could 3D print
you
them
could
out.
really run over and, like, punt it across the room like Charlie Brown.
Finally, my dream has come true. You can play Chao soccer.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm not even, like, the biggest VR guy, but, like, I do feel like just that kind of social shit is gonna, even if the games take a while to like really hit the mainstream, but I don't know, people are getting desperate for social stuff, and VR chat it sort of helps, I guess.
But then like I just am imagining the censorship that will come after that. Like you're in a room with people talking and you say something and then like you're just muted.
Yeah, God, for real. Like I can definitely see that being bad for sure. Like the corporate control over our chat spaces. Like we have the First Amendment right for public forum and assembly, but not when those VR spaces are owned by a corporation, I guess.
Yeah.
That's something that needs to change. I guess that's a little bit of a different topic, but God, I hate corporations so much more.
It's
than I
hard
ever
to
have.
talk about the internet for a long time without eventually circling back to corporations choking the life out of
Controlling
it,
our
because it's kind
lives,
of
yeah.
happening everywhere.
Yep.
It's a bleak state we're in right now, and I'm hoping that it's like a means to an uprising of sorts or like a change for the better. But I don't really
I
have
have to
faith.
just hope that people, like you talking about it, hopefully, like makes people aware of it. I feel like most people who would be listening to this kind of podcast would be somewhat aware of it. But like theoretically, just as time goes on, I want people to like push back on this shit, because the internet, like it's supposed to, like people they were so optimistic about the internet. It's supposed to be this free thing, free information, but now it's just getting like, so many
Oh my
government
God, this is
restrictions. It's gonna be
literally
like,
my next video.
If you guys think it's bad, like that's I try not to be. One reason I try not to be too doomer about it is because as bad as it is now, it could be so much worse, and it
that's
can, and it probably will continue to get worse.
Yeah.
So we might as well try to enjoy it what we have
Yes.
now while we have it, but
I
not
do
to get
think
complacent.
that, there is like an awareness now though, because like my parents are talking about it to me, and I never talk about it to them. I don't bring it up to them, but yesterday my dad
Same.
was like, "There is no freedom of speech on the internet because Twitter can ban anyone they want," and I was like, "How?" Like my
Based
dad is like
dad.
80 years old. Like the fact that he knows
Right.
that is a good sign.
Yeah,
I
same,
guess.
same with my parents, like talking about how, like Twitter's censorship and stuff. But we're basically in the Sonic 06 era right now, and maybe we just gotta wait
We
until
might not
we
have
come out
hit
with.
06 quite yet. This might be like the Shadow the Hedgehog.
Sure, yeah, we're at the Shadow Hedgehog, and we just gotta wait until Sonic Unleashed or Generations comes out.
Yeah, but then
Hopefully that's the way it goes.
Unfortunately, there's like some turbulence after Generations.
Okay, but hear me out. Wait, hold on. What is the current state of the Sonic games now? You have all these fan games. What if the internet goes in that direction where it's like
That's
these?
what I'm saying. Like that's what I was
Yes.
thinking with the independent websites thing. But like obviously
Yeah,
that
I
might
do-
not be way it happens, but I want
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
I try to be optimistic about that kind of stuff. Like I love the idea of like peer-to-peer stuff, like lots and lots of like user-generated, like just, you know, not all top-down level apps and websites, like, you know, sharing just, I mean, I feel like even like Discord, if there are
nice.
like, you know, NSA members listening in, that's one thing, but like I feel like at least it's like it lets people connect and talk to each other, you know, for the most part. It's not centralized on one giant thing where every like private, like, you know, Discord like conversation is getting like, you know, you can't say certain words, you're gonna get banned off of using it or whatever, you know what I mean?
To me, Discord is the closest to like actually hanging out with someone with the internet.
Yeah,
so I like it for that reason.
Yeah, I just like, I mean, just the idea of like publicly interacting over Twitter is like, I do it for like, I just try to only make shit posts and fun memes on Twitter and try not to get too upset about it, because it is like people will get in like arguments like with random people. It's like, you know, that doesn't happen to me with Discord as much, at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's easy to waste huge amounts of your time and energy on Twitter. And the way you use it, I think, is optimal, where you use it as you don't take it very seriously is the impression I get, but you still make funny posts. It's still entertaining and you just have a good time with it. And I think
I understand,
good
like sometimes you have to use websites you don't even like just to keep in touch with people that you do like, you know what I mean? I pretty much don't use Facebook, but I understand that a lot of people who fucking hate Facebook and hate Mark Zuckerberg, but they just use it because that's the only way they can keep in touch with people that they like, you know what I mean? And it's sort of the same for Twitter in a way.
I think what's good about the way you use Twitter is that not only is it fun for you because you just get to post meme content, but it's fun for everyone that follows you, because instead of being like, instead of a bunch of negative arguments, extreme takes, or whatever, it's just fun memes, and it's like it makes you the kind of account that's like good to follow.
Anyone can post anything they want on their own personal Twitter. I won't ever tell anyone else what they're allowed to post. But yeah, like I don't really like I don't feel like anyone follows me. It's really like dying to hear my hot, spicy political takes and hear me crying about, you know, this and that about the state of America right now. You know what I mean? Like it's like let's just you know, there's a time and place for that. I just never thought Twitter was the time and place to like grandstand about, you know, the country. I mean, I guess because like I don't know, people think that is like, to me, like I trained on posting on a Web 1.0 forum, so the idea of like posting on Twitter is just it's so fundamentally different to me, because it's like you're not posting in a thread, you're just like posting out into the fucking wind, you know what I mean? And then maybe your thing will get picked up and retweeted, maybe it won't.
Well, I think we could probably start wrapping this up.
This has already been like the longest episode we've ever had, I think.
Yeah, I had a good time. I had fun. I just had fun shooting the shit. I always like talking about the internet and Sonic the Hedgehog, so I never turned down an opportunity to do that.
Two things that are inseparable.
Exactly. It is weird how like deeply ingrained, like not that you can separate Sonic from the internet, but like he's just, there's always been a big Sonic fandom and community, and it's like it's always been there, and you can always like find remnants of it. This is why people always are like, oh, you can Google your name the Hedgehog, but it's like think about like the next level, like why is there that much fan art? Think about like what does that actually mean? Like think about how like that just means there are that many dedicated, passionate fans of the Sonic fandom. And I really do think it just harkens back to the thing I was saying, where Sonic just has like an objectively good character design. It just makes you want to like make a custom version of it, but like for your own type of character. You know what I mean? It's like it's just a fundamentally good design, and it is like honestly like fan fiction and fan made content like that. Like I'm not gonna pretend it's not at all a little bit cringe, but like think about like every good creator basically got their start like fan fiction or like spec scripts for like shows that already exist. Like it's not that weird to make
it's normal.
Start off making exactly. It's pretty normal just to start off like making fan fiction or just experimenting with these characters that you already know, rather than trying to like make everything from the ground up and stuff, which is hard to do.
Not that this is a great example, but I mean, wasn't like Twilight Harry Potter fan fiction or something?
Yeah, exactly. And then like fucking 50 Shades of Grey was that fan fiction of that is Twilight fan fiction or something. So it's like it's just like a never-ending like spiral.
All art is derivative.
Things is fan fiction of it. And even like Sonic the Hedgehog, like we were saying, it just incorporates elements like the Death Star and Super Saiyans, and just like it's in a weird way. I like stuff that
think
does
about
as
it,
like homogenization.
Sonic teaches us more about humans than about hedgehogs.
Right, it definitely is. Sonic is just a reflection of our own, the human condition.
Yeah,
Sonic
the
philosophy.
humans, in fact,
That's
are
a new
bad guys, or Dr. Robotnik at least.
I just thought of a
There's
new
always
niche.
been a very subtle like nature versus technology
Environmentalist,
aspect,
yeah.
but it's never been like super simplistic, like, oh, all technology bad, because you could still see remnants of technology being good. Like even in Sonic 2, Tails flies the plane and he puts that little booster on it, and in Sonic CD, some of the good features are like technologically based. They're just like in harmony with nature. You know what I mean? So it's never like nature good, technology bad, but there was always sort of that sort of dichotomy between them, that they represent those sort of things.
I'm hoping you dive deeper into Sonic philosophy in your future videos.
Yeah, I feel like it's
market.
a fun meme-y thing to say, but it's also fun to just talk about. It's fun to shoot the shit and get away. It's fun to overthink things on purpose, even because you're overthinking
Yeah.
it. But,
The Hedgehog's
it's just
Dilemma.
fun to do it anyways.
It is fun.
I thought that was
agree.
pretty eye-opening for me when you went over the Hedgehog's Dilemma.
Yeah, I just thought that was such
like
a good
that. That
bit
was
where
good.
I could use like get it, the Hedgehog Dilemma, that famous thing. What if it was Sonic? I just had that bit. I was like, I have to stretch this bit into at least like 30 to 90 seconds so I can put it in the video.
Greg that video, and you got to that section, he was like, "Oh my god, this is me."
No, I love when you go deep. I just love like going really deep into a topic and then connecting it to something that is actually very, very entrenched in culture or in philosophy or whatever. And then there is actually a tie-in. I don't know. I just think that's awesome when you're able to connect things that on the surface people would probably think don't match up at all. Like Sonic.
I really do enjoy. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
philosophy.
When you make that kind of connection, you can like tie everything together. That's like a weird thing about making videos is like it's really like telling a story. And even if it doesn't seem like a traditional type of story, like there's a lot of traditional storytelling aspects you can like lean on, and like tying it all together, bringing it full circle is like one of the most satisfying things that a human brain can like experience. You know what I mean? So it's like
No,
for sure.
totally. I'm learning that just now. I mean, as long as I've been making videos, I'm actually learning like I used to think that YouTube was about making good videos. It's really not. It's about telling good stories, I think.
Yes.
At least with the kind of videos I want to make.
Completely. Like I really feel like a lot of my videos are like very much like you could, if you completely chopped them up and like you could put all the same information but just do it in a different order, it would be like 10,000 times less compelling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, what's like there's some videos, and like the video I'm working on right now, like I said this to Greg last night, like I feel like it's not the most like story based video. And like there's also a good example is like Emp Lemon put out a video not too long ago about what was it, the Fruit of the Loom conspiracy thing.
Right. Yeah, that was an interesting Mandela effect video.
Yeah,
it
but,
was a good video diving into it.
It was a good video, but it wasn't like a story. You know what I mean? Like maybe it had
Right.
in the beginning like an aspect of storytelling, but then like at some point it was just well organized.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be a chronological story for sure. It
Right.
can be
Yeah, Emp Lemon is a good storyteller. Like a lot of his like Never Ever series has
Yeah.
a very clear like beginning, middle, end type story. And I do really appreciate it when they have that kind of structure. It does help like make it feel like a more complete experience for sure.
Yeah.
It always helps when people finish a video, they feel like they watched like a complete thing, not just
Complete thought.
rambling into a fucking microphone for 10 minutes, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, yeah, like that's like the nature of like having a like introduction, conclusion, and a climax or something like that. But sometimes I just wonder like maybe all videos should be trying to organize themselves in a way that feels storytelling, like it's storytelling.
I really feel like it helps. Like if you can pull it off, like people will really, they respond to it pretty well, honestly. And yeah, like a weird thing I tried to do with my like videos when I came back in September was I tried to like not like have one sort of like, actually originally I was like, I'm gonna have like a single narrative thread that goes across every video, like a season of a TV show. And then I was like, this is too much work. I can't think of a thing that isn't weirdly forced. So instead of like doing it that, I'll just sort of focus on like the meta aspect of me coming back. I bring that up in a couple like little areas. And then the last video I made was I know you said you saw that one and sort of inspired you to do that video you made, which was just, you just sort of have to like, reevaluate your circumstances. People are actually weirdly like, they like to hear like behind the scenes info, you know what I mean? They like to hear like, this is like what it's like to be a YouTuber. As long as they're not like, they don't want to hear you like jerk yourself off over it. They want to hear like the struggles and what it's like, but like, I don't know.
They like authenticity when it's
Exactly.
Yeah, people respond to authenticity. It's actually, it's pretty much just that simple. Like people like if you're just trying to make a video because you think it'll like trend because you don't really give a shit about what you're talking about. People can like weirdly, they can tell, like people are like, I get responses like from people, not all the time, but like sometimes like, I'm not even a big Sonic fan, but I like your videos because I can just tell how much you like Sonic. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That definitely comes across.
Yeah. It's a very huge aspect of it, and I think that's like something that a lot of YouTubers don't strive for, or at least I know like myself that I fully didn't think about authenticity at all when I started. I was very much like, oh, I have to tell like the best objective like presented story with the most
right,
like,
definitely. People
value.
definitely think that they think they have to be like objectively good, which is funny because yeah, like when I very first started YouTube, again, I was just doing it. I didn't have to worry about authenticity versus doing it for money because money didn't exist yet. It wasn't on the table at that point in YouTube's history, so I was just doing it for fun. And there was definitely like this fun energy for like that whole period because it literally everyone was just doing it for fun. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. It's such a dumb thing, and I've heard people like give that advice to like new and upcoming YouTubers, and they're like, you know, be authentic, have fun, and they're like, you know, the algorithm can't tell if I'm having fun, but it's like, yeah, but the people watching can, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how you build a fan base, essentially.
Yeah, I feel like I'm lucky too. Like people are like, you know, how do you can have, it's so weird. You see these like million sub channels get like less than $100 on Patreon, but it's because like all their fans are like really young. Whereas I like, not only because I've been on for so long, a lot of like, I feel like I have a trending older fan base, you know what I mean? Just because in general, first of all, I'm just sort of boomery and I talk about old Sonic games and that sort of appeals to that sort of demo. But like just having like Patreon isn't really a good like reflection of how many people like your content or whatever. Patreon is a good like reflector of how many adults with disposable income are like emotionally invested in your story on YouTube, which is weird to say it like that, but like that's the kind of people who are gonna like want to give you money, you know what I mean? So yeah, weirdly just being on YouTube for as long as I have is like a weird asset to me, you know what I mean?
I think it's cool as fuck.
Right. It's fucking cool how it's like I really started this shit just as like a meme, basically, just for fun. And then like, yeah, in 2017, I was like, oh, I guess I could make videos for YouTube, weirdly enough. And then I did. And I was like, I didn't even really fully expect to get that popular. In fact, when I made that bonus video, I was like, I wasn't doing it to become a YouTuber. I was just doing it to like fulfill an old obligation I had. And I was like, well, people seem to respond to this, and I actually kind of had fun making it. So I'll make a Sonic CD one that's very similar. And I just sort of branched out from there. And I am very grateful that I have the opportunity to make non-Sonic related videos. People seem to respond pretty positively.
Yeah.
Not quite as like positively because obviously there's plenty of people who sub to me just to see Sonic stuff, and I totally get that. But it's really hard to break out of a niche. So the fact that anyone is even remotely interested in my non-Sonic related content, I'm very grateful for.
I think that
although let me just go on record and say I love Sonic, and if I was like stuck in the Sonic box and that was the only content I ever did that like made any like got any views, I wouldn't feel that bad because I have plenty of stuff to say about Sonic. So luckily, yeah, I like my niche, but it's very nice to be able to like step outside of it every now and then.
That's like a testament that you have viewers who like you, basically.
Right. Which again is it's a lot harder to get that kind of stuff than you'd think, honestly, because it's really like, you know, there are people who really do focus entirely on the content, and having great content is fucking great, and there's nothing wrong with just making the best type of videos you can, but like, you know, you have to interject yourself into it a little bit if you want people to actually care about you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. Okay.
It's definitely weird to think about.
Well,
should we
yeah, we can go for 2 hours. We can wrap it up, guys. But I had a great time. This was fun.
No, this has been awesome, and I'm
definitely. I did a bunch of podcasts right when I first came back. I was like, I can't believe I can do podcasts. This is so cool. And then I did a bunch of like burnt myself out. I was like, oh, this is too much work. But then you guys said I just talked to you guys like before, so I was like, yeah, I don't mind talking to those guys. I was just talking to those guys about the internet and shit. It's like barely even. Like, sometimes I forgot I was even doing the podcast.
This is essentially like an extension of like the first conversation we had like a few weeks back.
Yeah, definitely.
Like very similar subject matter because it's just we all happen to have like similar interests.
Similar upbringings with the internet, similar interests, and I think we have a similar prognosis for the future and hope for the future. So.
Right. Yeah, you know, I feel like, I mean, part of me is weirdly pessimistic. Like, it's very easy to be pessimistic, honestly. So
this
it's
is
like,
the time for it, right?
I have to like, yeah. So I feel like I have to like go against my.
You don't want to delude yourself either and be like falsely like, oh, everything's great, you know.
I absolutely 100% agree. I respect people who are complete doomer pessimistic more than people who are like living with their head in the sand to pretend that everything's fine, for sure. But it's just not good for your own mental health to be too down on everything.
It's like be diligent, but be like prepared to make things better or something.
Yes, sort of how I am with the Sonic series, where I'm not like you know, I'm not saying the next Sonic game is definitely going to be good, guys, but I'm ready for it to be good. I'm open for it to be good. I'm ready to think about the ways that it could be good and what needs to happen for that to happen. So just think critically. Just try and think critically and don't let other people think for you. Honestly, is one of the best things you can tell people on the internet.
I would say.
Think like a Sonic fan. Your life will be a lot better.
Nobody, as a Sonic fan, weirdly enough, when I hear like non-Sonic fans criticize Sonic, like it doesn't bother me because like I'm like they don't even do a good enough job. Like the only people who can really criticize Sonic are Sonic fans because we really get into the fucking dirt and the mud. You know, we'll like look at the good parts of 06 to figure out what's really bad about it.
All right, well, thanks for being on, man. This has been a blast.
This is fun. I definitely happy to come on again sometime if you're
for sure
dying for guests.
All right. Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff.
All right, I'm gonna hit the stop button on my thing.
Same.
For sure. Okay, I have officially stopped.